Here we go. We are going to start our live show here. I don't know why it has such a long time before it starts. Just going to check it out here. So, welcome everyone. And let me just check this out. Everything seems to be. Why is it not streaming yet? So weird. It only happens here. There's a big buffering going on. Okay, hey everyone, welcome to the live show. Sorry, some weird glitch. Can never be perfect. So hey everyone, welcome to the live show. This is our live show for Shortwave Radio. So welcome everybody, and sorry for the little delay. I don't know why, it only happens on this channel. When I start a stream, sometimes it doesn't want to. So I have to stop it and start it again. And that does not do that anywhere else. I don't know. So hey, welcome to this live show. This is a shortwave radio show. We are here every 2 weeks on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 2000 hours Universal Time. And it's fun to have everybody here. So we will, of course, talk about shortwave radio today. Different little things. We're going to talk about things like SDRs, like the Soft 66 and the Fedry SDR that I have right here. This little box that doesn't seem like much, but it's a radio. And we're going to talk about that. And sorry, we're going to, of course, talk a little bit about the fact that we're going to change schedules soon in a week or two. We're getting into the summer schedule season for shortwave broadcasting. So that's, of course, going to be interesting. There's going to be changes of frequencies. So we'll have to look for that. And I have a certain number of questions that I've received on the official Shortwave Radio Gmail account that I'm going to answer, because I think, it's interesting to go back into questions. There's a lot of newbies that watch my show. There's a lot of newbies that don't know much, and we are going to try to answer those questions. It might help you learn a little more. So cheers, everyone. I've got my beer today, which is a different beer, a gift from God. So this is pretty strong beer too, 9%, but really very sweet, kind of fruity a little bit. So cheers, everybody. So we're going to talk about radio, and hope that everybody enjoys today's show. So we're going to say hello to everybody. Granley in the IRC chat room from Cloudy, Connecticut. And the beer topic for today is Don de Dieu, which means pretty much gift from God, basically. Hey there, PLF in France. Nice to have you here. Scotty Tier 6 in sunny Toronto. And we're pretty much sunny Montreal with a temperature of 0 Celsius, which is 32 Fahrenheit. And in the other chat room, we're going to say hello to MDK2. Hello there. And he's in the park with the kids and cousins. 80 Fahrenheit there. Wow, enjoy your beautiful weather, man. Carl Sanson, hello there. Pre-ordered is ICOM 8600 from Universal Radio. Lucky you. Carol T got refreshments. Cool. Captain Ron got his 1103, DGen 1103 last night. Tunes as good as this AOR 8200. Not quite as good as is Yaesu 857. Well, you know, the Yaesu 857 is kind of a big gun compared to that, but it's a great little radio. It's a fine little radio. Hey there, Jeff, KD5QDO. Nice to have you here, as usual. Danny, Shortwave, Radio DX. Hello. David Harden, hello there. Nice to have you back also. Nick Hammondell from Romania. Where's your pirate flag? You know what? I just remembered like 5 minutes before the show and didn't have to put it up. I used the pirate flag as a background for my Windows show from the couch show with my nephew on Thursday. So it's still in the in the living room above the couch on the wall. And I forgot to put it back here. So that's why the parrot flag is gone. But it's going to be back, I promise, in the next shows. Mostafa Labib, hello there. Welcome. Hi, Mapper from Moscow. 10-second delay. That's not bad at all. From Moscow to Montreal. And by the way, my name is Gilles. I'm in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I always get tons of people saying, hey, where are you? You don't say it enough. Bobby Burgess, hello there. Welcome. Nice to have you on board. Hamid Zegin Duran from Ankara, Turkey. Hello, welcome aboard. Really nice. And did I miss anybody? Please say hello. Venster Bank, hello there. Jerry, pretty cool to have you here. Nice to have everybody on board. Did I miss anyone? Jeffrey Krupp, hello there from New Hampshire. And Jeffrey is, like many others, a contributor to the show via the patreon.com website. So thank you for being there. There's a few others like Carol T also, and many different people. I've got a few PayPal donations also yesterday. So thanks everybody, and I'll try to remember and mention everybody when I get donations, so that you can be sure that everybody knows you are part of the people that help me. Thanks you very much, everyone that donates, and I'll give the details a little later for those that would wish to help me out. Okay, well, F4GVE Adrien, hello, bienvenue, salut. Toujours un plaisir. 6 degrees. Train Mad 100, hello there from Wales. Nice to have you here. So, Jerry says he told everybody that he's a don de Dieu. David Arden says we are nice and warm too in Atlanta weather. So, if Joe wasn't on, we'll take the radio to the park. Oh, I prevented you from having a nice day outside. So, and Train Man 100 is G0. Well, let me say that. Golf Whiskey 0. I'm going to get it once. Golf Whiskey 0, India X-Ray Kilo. And nice to have everybody here. Brent Wilson, Farney Jr., hello there. Don Brown from Florida. Pretty cool. And Kelly Taylor finally got the Elinco DX SR8T HF transceiver. What do you think of it? You like it? Hope you do. It's nice to have everybody on board. And put up a Canadian flag along with your pirate flag. No, Granley, I'd rather have only a pirate flag. That's it. And no, the From the Couch show on Thursday was the computer one, PLF, not the radio one. But in 2 weeks, I think we're going to have In 2 weeks, Friday, we're probably going to have another From the Couch tuning the bands with my nephew. Really enjoyed it, and a lot of you seem to have enjoyed that a newbie was there tuning around signals, so it's pretty cool. Shortwave listening guest from Spain, and says, glad to hear and see your program. Thanks for your time. I'm quite new on the radio frequency world, and I use the WSL radio of the Holland University. Until now, I found a lot of great frequencies. Cool. Ottawa, hello there from sunny Ottawa. Nice to have you here. Very nice and sunny Montreal, of course. And for those that want to donate, yeah, somebody just answered. So you got it. For those, I get that regularly, by the way. People say, how do I donate on PayPal? Well, you simply have to, create a PayPal account. And you don't need a credit card. On a PayPal account, you can actually have the money taken from your bank account directly if you want, which, if you don't have a credit card, doesn't matter. So I'm just going to post it now and post it maybe a little later on. So in the chat, my Yahoo email. So that's for PayPal and Patreon. Sorry to bug you guys about this, but it does help me a lot. It is what lets me continue. If I would not have had some donations in the past 6 months, I'm not sure I would be here. So it really keeps me afloat and doing what I do. So thanks, everybody. Okay, what else do we have? So we've got MDK2 says, got my iPhone and PL600 in the park. Yeah. Who would have told us that, like 30 years ago, that we would have, I remember when I had my Commodore VIC-20, okay? Never would have thought that, first of all, that I would be doing live shows on a worldwide network on video, and that somebody in a park somewhere with a little device, a little smartphone, could watch me in the middle of basically, nowhere almost. And it's just amazing when you think about it. We take for granted a lot of that. But when we start thinking about how everything has to work right to have all of that working, man, it is quite amazing. But just thinking about it can tell you that. So, Brady Handle 03. Hello there, Brady Handle 03. Just coming to say hello. Cool. Nice to have you on board. And nice to have everybody here. Kelly Taylor, 300-foot long wire on a 9-to-1 Unun, great shortwave receive and medium wave. Cool. Yeah, 300-foot long wire must be amazingly good on medium wave. Jeff QD5, KD5 QDO says Elinco SR8P is a very capable little rig. And great sound. Really nice. What is the radio that is behind you, the 10 one? If you're talking about these are all American 5 receivers. So they've been part of my background. Actually, they're there because they look cute on live shows, and they prevent you guys from seeing all the 300 gazillion things that are messed up in the back of the just back of these radios. I really need to do a big cleanup here, and I've been wanting to do one now. So one of these days I'm going to do a live show, and you guys are going to see this all cleaned up and like all nice. So these are what we call all American 5s. They are tube receivers from the 60s. Back then, there was a design that was called the All-American 5, which was 5 tubes, which pretty much were always the same, to receive AM radio. And so all of them are American 5s. This one has a clock, and it's actually one of the early versions of basically the alarm clock, because you can actually set it so that the radio starts with the clock to wake up in the morning. So kind of a very mechanical thing, but very nice. So these are tube receivers. They all work, by the way, work very well, and I really, really like that. And that's pretty cool. I've been playing a lot today with the SDR, the Fedri SDR. Actually been listening on my big screen TV in the living room, and I was making pancakes this morning, and I actually was listening to some amateur radio operators from an amateur radio operator from Spain making contacts on 20 meter band on a portable computer in the kitchen. So it was really cool. I really am having a lot of fun with this, and I'm going to talk about this a little today because I think it's worth it to mention. And my review's coming up quite soon, and I got a a nice little email from Greg that actually had sent me this radio saying, "Hey, I've never noticed the problems you have. I never had them, but you always used it on network." And I realize when I use it on the network, it actually is less of a problem than when I use it USB. So it's probably better to use it on the network side. That's for sure. Carol says, "Wow, highest frequency I'm receiving 17640. Yeah, you know what? I tried 15 meters this morning and early afternoon. Nothing. Solar flux is at 71. Man, that's low. So the maximum usable frequency barely crosses 20 megahertz. Pretty sad because it's fun when the upper bands are open. Oh yeah, VIC 20 is a blast from the past. MDK2 can tell you that." Nick Mandel says, "We're living amazing times, but I'm not sure how many really realize it." Yeah, that is true. We don't realize all the technology we have. We expect to have that, little portable phone, and I just look at what I do with my my Galaxy S7 phone here, and I'm just you can do anything, and you take for granted that all you can do with these little things now. It's just amazing, and the internet and everything is pretty cool. It's a cool way also for me to make live shows. It's pretty cool. Scotty Tier 6 says, "Watch for Hangout this Monday morning on Hamrad 88 channel, where Tom and I will be playing around with my R9500. Oh, pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's going to be fun. So you guys, there's going to be a nice hangout with Hamrad 88, Tom Styles. Okay. Phone is ringing. Who cares? So, anyway. David Audience says, "Tried 15 and 12 meter band earlier today, like you. Found very little activity." Yep, nothing. So, really amazing. Elizabeth Granville, greetings from Alaska. Nice to have you on board, Alaska. Pretty cool. And, of course, I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So in the east part of North America, northeast part. Edvaldo Lemes, greetings from Brazil, PY4001 SWL. It's 26 Celsius over there. I'm jealous. Nice to have you here. Yes, I am getting spoiled with the SDR, I gotta say. Creepy past caller, are you the one calling me right now? What is the best radio for DXing and where to get? That's a very hard question to answer because it all depends what you want to do. Basically, of course, a serious DXer will want to have a really higher end radio, either a tabletop model or something like, or a good SDR. But you know what? If you don't have a radio, I would settle first for something like a Texan PL 680, 660, or Texan PL 880. These are amazing receivers. They are quite good at what they do, and for a start. Of course, some of them are on Amazon, but you can also get them from eBay. And on eBay, I gotta say, if you buy radios on eBay, if you see the seller Anonco, ANONCO, Anonco is probably the best place to buy radios on eBay. Very fast shipping, always correct. You can ask questions. It's a no hassle thing, that seller is amazing. So Anonco is a great place. But you can have some text and receivers from Amazon also if you want. So there's no problems there. Ottawa says, wanted to say a big thank you. I picked up my first radio, PL 380. Been tuning the bands and loving it. This is all thanks to you and your channel. Thank you very much. You know what, Ottawa? That is something that I just makes me feel so good, knowing that what I say, what I do to help even people that have never received or listened to shortwave. Well, if now I'm making you listen to shortwave and you're enjoying it, a PL 380 is an amazing small little radio. It doesn't have single sideband, but you know what? It's a very capable receiver, and feels good. Just having someone say that makes me feel really good. So, man, thank you so much. Really, really fun. And I try to be as fair as possible with the with the receivers, because there's scrappy radios out there. There's some that are rather average, and I want to try to if you buy your first radio, I want you to choose for the budget that you have to spend. At least for that amount of money, you'll get the best that you can have for the money you're spending. So PL 380 is an amazing radio for $40. It is really, really surprising. So pretty cool. Danny Shortwave, Jill, I noticed you don't have the donate links on your YouTube page. Would be nice if you can have your links so some of us can go through there and when you're not live. Yeah, that is true. I need to put a donate button. I'll be checking that out both on the radio channels and on the Windows channel. It is true that it is something that's that would be nice to have there. Pretty cool. What else do we have here? F4GB. Adrien says, yeah, smartphones and the internet. Back to the Future didn't predict that. No, there were no smartphones back in that. We're more advanced in the technology on that side and less advanced in the car technology that will be flying us someday. DX Place, hello there. Nice to have you here. Steve P, good day from Australia. Steve in Australia. Nice to have somebody from down under. Pretty cool. And Carol T says, bought my PL 365 straight from them. Yep. And Onco is amazing, for sure. Brady Endel03 says, I know the RTL SDR dongle is very basic, but I am coming into SDR world and radio world. But how likely are you to recommend the RTL SDR and thinking of purchasing one when it becomes available? You know what? If you're thinking of starting up, RTL SDR is a very basic. It has its drawbacks, but it does pick up signals. Somehow, I would probably kind of tell you to buy, maybe if you're going to buy an SDR and start at the basic point, get this. This is a Soft 66. And I gotta say, this is gonna cost you around $40, and this is for $40, really amazing. It of course needs to be tweaked correctly, so you got your RF gain here. Don't push it to the maximum. That's that's a no-no, because you're gonna not have good performance. So basically, this is the RTL SDR. Okay, what you see here is an RTL SDR. What you see here, the big plate, the big electronic circuit underneath, is a shortwave radio with down converter. So basically, it adds the shortwave side, but the shortwave side needs to be sent to the frequencies that the RTL SDR can tune. So there's what we call an offset. And I gotta say, for $40, this is probably the best I'd say the best wideband receiver all mode that you'll ever get for $40. I don't think anything beats this for $40. And it works well. The only thing you'll have to do is just install the special driver and it's easy to set up. In all the SDRs, this is easy to set up. You plug it through USB, and you know what? You're gonna have a lot of fun with the Soft 66. I would go for that instead of just the dongle. Some people seem to say the dongle they're having a lot of fun with it, but I'd go for a Soft 66. A little more complete than just a dongle. And now they're at RTL3, I believe, which has new kind of filters and everything. It's kind of an improved version. If you pay a little more, 50, 55, you'll have it already in a little box. And all you'll have to do is plug in a USB cable and the antenna connectors. And there's 2 antenna connectors because this is a wideband receiver. So it starts at 100 kilohertz and goes all the way up to almost 2 gigahertz. So not only do you have a shortwave radio, but you've got a VHF, UHF, wideband receiver also. And it's all mode, AM, FM, wide FM, single sideband, everything is in here. And for $40, you can't go wrong. This is pretty surprising. But you do need a little bit of tweaking, and I have a few videos about this, by the way, on the channel. So if you ever purchase one, check my videos. They're going to help you set it up correctly, personally. What else do we have here? Robbie Burgess watching me from the Chromecast and listening to his PL380 on 9930. Cool. Cool. That's nice. David Arnon says, was listening to 14280 earlier. Heard a New Zealand station, an N2 station, sorry. Looked QRZ and it said the call sign was a Russian-speaking club that was in Antarctica. Oh, really? Wow. That's cool. That's kind of cool. If it was in Antarctica, that's a nice catch. Radiolight.pt, hello there. Nice to have you here. And yeah, like you see, Carol T says, he uses an RTL SDR. They are okay for the price. They're somewhat limited, though. Yeah, a little more expensive. You get the Soft 66 that, of course, is not the top-end radio, but this is surprising what you'll get with that, and really for $40 is one of the best you can really get, I think. Oh, that'd be cool. Get a card from Antarctica. I never had anything from Antarctica. Would really like to do that. Is the Countycom, Elizabeth Granville says, is the Countycom handheld Generation 3 a radio worth purchasing? If you're talking about this one, which is the Countycom GP5, you know what? It is amazing for what it is, and I really enjoy having it. Of course, I got it free, so it's a little more. It's even better when you get it free. But what I would think it's worth it. It's a worth it radio. I like it. If this radio had a keypad, it's the only thing missing. Because it would be a perfect little receiver, and I actually like the form factor. And I believe this is the third generation of the Countycom that I already have here. And pretty amazing little radio, I gotta say. And single sideband, the easy tuning mode is superb, and fetching out stations, really, really cool. So hello there, DXer Keegan in Northwest Arkansas. 75 Fahrenheit and sunny. Wow. That's summer-like conditions. So, PLF, do I have planned for a casing on my Soft 66? Well, I have a casing that I bought that I just need to drill the holes for the antenna connector. But you know what? Being a guy that loves electronics, I kind of like it like this because I like seeing the circuit board when I'm using it. So I kind of like it already like this, personally. But that's me, RadioNet63, good afternoon. Hello there. Nice to have you on board. And really cool to have everybody here. Jwahar Bami, hello there. Did you try your SDR on SDR console? How was it compared to HD SDR? You know what? I did download and install SDR console V3. It detects immediately the SDR. I got no audio. It doesn't receive for some reason. There's something I'm missing, so I need to play with it a little more. So I'm not yet been able to have it working. And I thought it would have been really easy because immediately I installed the software. Immediately it told me, oh, there's AFIDRI SDR on LAN for the local area network. It saw it. So I clicked, and all I had to do is click start. And for some reason, it's doing nothing. And actually, even the software freezes. So I don't know why. I'm going to have to check that out. Maybe I should go to version 2 instead of 3. I don't know. Bobby Burgess says, I love yesterday's show. Really show how using the SDR over any desktop receiver is really great. Man, I just loved it. I got to say. Really, really is cool. What else do we have? Oh, of course, you know. For sure, the $40 SDRs have flaws. You know, they're not perfect. What else do we have here? Carol says, "Don't get me started with about a keypad." So yeah, that's true. I got to be careful for sure for static electricity. But being a tech guy, I already know a lot about that. Got to be careful. Sorry, guys. I got a little. I got a cat in the throat, and it's not Paul. So the FIDRI has only one antenna input because this is a HF only version. There's, I believe, another version that has wideband and has 2 connectors. This is a HF only version. So it has only one antenna connector for HF. Apart from that, if we look quickly at the front here, we have 3 little lights, which are LEDs. Different colored LEDs for the status of the SDR itself. You've got a mini USB port that has 2 functionalities. Either you use it and you plug it USB with your computer and use the SDR and USB. That's what I was doing yesterday. But it's a little quirky in USB. The other thing, and that's what I pretty much always do, is only use it to power the device. So I've got a little switching power supply that doesn't make a lot of noise that I plug the cable just for the power, and I use I put it on my the cable that I use to stream the video. I plug it here to actually have this show up on my home network. So I can tune this everywhere on one of my computers around home, which I find really, really cool, I gotta say. And there's gonna be a lot of more coming up, by the way, on videos. And there's also a separate power connector. If you wanna have a kind of a wall wart connector, you know, there's a little power connector here that's good for, I think it's 7 to 14 volts DC, and it powers the device. So this is really a standalone thing that you can just put there, have it plugged on a router, for example, and you can, you know, I see myself this summer out on the balcony and tuning with, you know, tuning the shortwave bands with the laptop via this SDR. It's a really, really cool little box. Got to tell you that. Philip Briggs, hello there from south of Brazil. Nice to have you on board. And late summer, sunny, 27 Celsius. 27 is not bad at all. So next week, the north of Europe. Oh, that's cool. Carol T is hearing Voice of Korea on 11635. Cool. Charles Arlick, hello there. World Radio Network website is back up, but no audio yet. Yeah, no audio, effectively. I do have audio on my my internet radio. It seems the stream works on the internet radio. RadioNet63 says, I have not tried SDR yet. Still like the tabletop rigs myself. You know what? I am a big fan of tabletop rigs, but this SDR has given me something that the tabletop does not. Great shortwave performance with my sloper antenna in the backyard from any room in my home with a computer. And you know what? I was all morning and part of the afternoon today doing some stuff for my Windows channel. And I was tuning around with this in the living room on my 50-inch TV. And I just love that. Because now I have it's like having my ICOM in the living room, basically, because this performs very well, by the way. The ephedry is a very good shortwave performer. Just have to be careful not to push it too far on the RF gain because it overloads. But if you just push it right, this is one of the best receivers I own here. It's not very far from my ICOM in performance. And because it has much more flexibility because of software, it at some point even is almost better. So it's, amazing, I gotta say. It will not replace my ICOM in the sense that I love tuning around with a nice big radio, and my ICOM will always have a special place for me. But this is making me think that I might use this quite a lot. And you know what? I've been just leaving it plugged in on my network, and all the time when I feel like listening to shortwave. Well, before what I would do is, I want to see if this signal comes in. Either I'd come over here, start tuning the ICOM to see if it's there, or I'd pick up one of my portable receivers and tune it to the frequency. But now I'm already, most of the time, I do tons of videos on YouTube, so I'm almost always in front of my computer. So all I have to do is click HD SDR and tune the frequency and see if what I want to hear is there. Not even, I don't even have to get up and do it. I just do it from my laptop. That, I gotta say, is an amazing feature to be able to tune via your own network with this receiver. Really amazing. Random Hobbyist, hello there. Sputnik, hello there. Nice to have you on board, and really cool to see you here. And yes, we had like 2 feet of snow here. So that's pretty much what we had. With the blowing snow and everything, came close to 60 centimeters. And I was showing yesterday how the cars are all jam-packed in the snow here next to the sidewalk. So pretty amazing. Scotty Tier 6 says, do you see the vids Oxford is doing about the South American jungle? Giant spiders and the Xing. Yes, I did have see a few of those. Pretty interesting. So, pretty cool to have everybody here. Oh, absolutely. That, like Steve in Australia says, SDR is a different perspective to the hobby. And, it's the radio. And by the way, I will again say one thing. I get tons of messages all the time saying you should not talk about SDRs because basically they are not radios. For a lot of people, I don't know why, they're not radios of what they say. So what I respond to that is, yes, they are. I'm sorry. They are radios. They are receivers because basically they are radios in a box. This is a little radio. I mean, this is a wideband radio. It's a real radio. For some reason, a lot of people think because you have to use a computer that it's not a radio. And no, it is a radio. This is not tuning like an internet radio that is not technically a radio because you're just tuning through the internet network. streams on the internet. This is not streaming on the internet. This is plugged to my sloper antenna in the backyard, and it receives the signals like my other radios through the antenna. The only difference is that it needs the computer software for the interface of, tuning around the buttons and everything. It's as if you would remove the faceplate of my ICOM and replace it with a computer that has all the controls on it. So it is a radio, and I don't understand why some people do not consider this as being a radio. It is. It is. This is not internet stuff. It's radio. It's a radio that is tuning shortwave signals on the frequencies you're asking it. So it's just that the aspect is different. So yeah, AFEDRI, AFEDRI is the name of this little SDR. What I would say that is a little, okay, if I compare those, first of all, I got to say that this one, AFEDRI, does outperform the SOF 66. But if you look at the circuit board in here, by the way, that is all the size of the, maybe I should have taken out the plate and just show you guys. It's all the size of the box here. This is much more complex than this. The HF here is down converted digitally. It's within the circuit. You don't have to put an offset or anything. It's a direct connect. This has a offset of 50 megahertz if you want to tune shortwave signals because of the down converter. So this does perform better in sensitivity, and also because it is more filtered. You see a lot less the effects. For example, if I plug in this and I turn it on, the interference that it generates actually shows up even on my ICOM because I share the antenna. When I plug this and I start the software, it does also, but much less, to a point where this can run at the same time as my ICOM and it's going to be okay. It doesn't give enough interference to really be a problem. So that also is a big positive point. And even better, if you plug it in through the Ethernet jack, it even is more quiet. It seems to be a little more noisy on the USB connection. So this is, a little really better. But the thing is, it's easier to understand this than this. This little receiver requires less tweaking of the software. Why? Because now it depends on what you're using. Apparently the SDR console will connect it directly. But for HD SDR, for example, I have to use the SDR console. It's the SDR control box, which is a separate little software that controls every little detail in here. Also, you got to understand one thing, is that this SDR, if you want to put it, actually the best way to use it is really through the Ethernet jack, because it actually gives a lot more data out. So your waterfall is larger. You can have much more viewing, a much larger view of the frequency ranges than you can with the SOF 66, which is limited by the USB 2.0 bandwidth. Since the Ethernet jack here gives out even more data, you can have a much wider waterfall. So you see more frequencies at the same time. Yet, you have to understand some basics to install this. You got to understand, this came with a fixed IP of 192.168.0.8. My router is on a gateway of 192.168.1.1. So that means I had to reprogram the IP address in here. So you got to understand how to use the software to send it a new IP that it needs to be on for it to work with your setup, not to interfere with your stuff that's already plugged. Here I got more than a dozen things that plug into my router, Wi-Fi and plugged in. So, it's not as easy, and you got to understand not just how SDR works a little bit, you got to understand how networks work a little bit and IP address. So that, I got to say, gives it, it's like I'd say that you start here, and when you get here, you have the basics of here, and you got to learn a little more here because there's a little more that you can do with it. But once you set it up, on the internet through my router, actually works really well, and especially on my computer in the living room with the on the TV, 50-inch TV, really cool, really cool. Granley says, watching you on a new HD TV, that new router is working well, very clear and sharp. Yeah. By the way, for those that didn't know, or yesterday, got a new router here, which is it's a AC1750, which is based on the Archer C7 architecture. It's a gigabit router. It's an AC router. So everything, you know what? Since I plugged it in, started streaming my live show this week, it is amazing. The live shows have been crisp and clear and almost no buffering since I have my new router. So I think my Linksys router that I had before was really, really part of a problem. What the hell? Stop calling me. The Linksys router that I had basically was really, really part of the problem of my upstream. And since I got that one, it's much better, much better. And I'm really, really happy. And, I had no choice because when I plugged this on my Linksys router, my router would crash every 2 minutes. I was unable to listen to more than about 60 seconds of audio with the waterfall and everything would just jam, and I had to restart the router, and I said, the hell with it, I'm getting a new router. So I knew that model I'd seen before, and it's well, their reviews are good, and I gotta say, amazing. Really happy to have changed that, not just for this, but for the streaming also. And as soon as I plugged it in, the SDR worked perfectly. Vanui Deoto says, you told us yesterday you were interfered by a 50 kilowatt station. You can easily build a notch filter on that frequency. Yeah, it's 940 kilohertz. It's a new AM station playing music right now. But man, this is really here. There's two problems. Major AM stations that are interfering, and also major FM stations that are really, really powerful here. You know what, Carol? I will do a de-expedition to Perry Island with this. What I will do is actually I will bring a power pack that powers USB, like my smartphone or tablets to give it more power. And I estimated that with my rechargeable pack, I can actually power the ephedry probably for at least 4 or 5 hours. So one of my de-expeditions this summer will be this, and I'll bring my laptop and we'll plug it in with, of course, the Ethernet cable, and I'll have the power pack giving the power to this battery power pack. So at least 4 or 5 hours minimum of listening to this. Actually, the biggest problem will be more my laptop giving it power than giving power to this, basically. So, pretty, hello there, KD0TJB. Nice to have you here. Otavio Conci, hello there. Greetings from South Brazil also. City of Porto Alegre. I learned a lot from you. Keep up the great work. If you could answer, what type of antenna do you use for your shortwave SDR? So the SDR that I use here is the same antenna that I use on my ICOM. Actually, I've got a split in the back, and my both receivers are on a sloper. A sloper is a kind of an end-fed long wire that is at an angle. So the antenna starts at the fence, a little higher than the fence in the backyard at one corner, and it's at an angle. It goes up 22 meters from one end of the backyard up to the top of the corner of the roof here, that by chance actually makes 22 meters long. And so I didn't have to cut the wire or anything. It fits exactly like that. Pretty cool. And at the end, there's a Unon, a 9-1 Unon, unbalance. And then it's a coax shielded cable that comes in from the backyard balcony, well, the box and the roof, down to the backyard balcony, and through the home up to here in my office. I'm at the opposite of the backyard where the wire comes in. But it's a 22 meter long sloper antenna. What are the audio and video connections to the SDR? Paul A. Steckler, hello there. Well, basically, what you have here, this does not have video out. This is as Ethernet. So the audio comes through Ethernet also. This works on port 50,000 through the network. And the audio, everything comes out through Ethernet, okay, in your own network. So when I plug this with the Ethernet cable, this connects through my router. And my router is giving out, of course, the network. So any computer I got, all the visual is the software you use. So in my case right now, I'm using HD SDR. And it has all the visuals of the waterfall and everything. But all of that information is provided digitally by the Ethernet port. And even the audio comes from there. So everything is sent to the software. There you'll have audio, you'll have the visual with the HD SDR software. Everything is from that. So yeah, that's I'm a little far back in the chat, by the way, guys, so don't worry, I'll answer your questions. But like Bobby Burgess says when I was talking about these are not radios, he says this is like saying a TV tuner card and not TVs. Yeah, pretty much the same. They are a radio. Totally. They are a radio. This is a radio. It's just that you don't have a control panel at all. That's all. TrainMad 100, hello there. Nice to have you on board. What else do we have? F417H, good day from Canada. Hello there. Here at Canada too, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So it's pretty cool. And pretty nice to have everybody here. RadioNet63 says, if it receives a signal, it's a radio, period. Exactly. 1990 Sunbird, hello there. Nice to have you on board. Hey there, Fastlow. Nice to have you here. And please fix that radio clock. Actually, all I have to do is plug it in and let it run. So, and set the time. Carol says, okay, so everyone calls Jill now, yeah. Is the Fedri SDR gigabit Ethernet? No, it's a 10100, so this one connects at 100 megabits per second. It'd be even cooler if it would be a gigabit internet, because you would have even more of a bandwidth available when you connect it. But it technically direct connection Ethernet to Ethernet on your laptop or a computer. Okay, not going through a router or anything. Direct, because you can plug it direct to a computer Ethernet jack. Apparently, you can go up to 2 megahertz of spectrum display. In reality, though, because that's theory, you have 2 megahertz. Most of what I've seen, people that are using it, really connected Ethernet direct, seem to say they get at most about 1,225 kilohertz wide of waterfall. The biggest waterfall I've been able to do right now is 250 kilohertz. And so, but that's going through the router. not plugged directly. So I plan to do that, of course, also. Me boy DMP, hello there. Nice to have you on board. Nice to have you here live. So no, it's not gigabit. It's 100 megabits per second. It's regular internet. But eventually, of course, pretty cool. Is there an app to use your smartphone instead of a laptop? Not for this. I haven't. I did check out. Maybe there's something and I don't know. I don't know if anybody, because of course, you know, for the for this. Well, okay. Well, back up a little bit. Maybe if we plug it USB on my smartphone. That I haven't tried yet, because I can use my Soft 66 USB plugged in my Samsung Galaxy S7 with SDR Touch software. So I can tune this with the SDR Touch software. Now, this one is a little different, so I haven't tried it. I wonder, maybe it could work. Maybe it could work on an Android phone. So that could be possible. So, what else do we have here? DRAF, hello there. What happened to the pirate flag? Everybody's asking me this. It's simply because, I have a show on Thursdays. I have two shows on Thursdays. One is called From the Couch, which is a tech show with my nephew Gabriel, where we talk about gaming and tech news. And every week I try to have a different background. And this week I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. I'll put the pirate flag in the background. So it's still in the living room above the couch where we did our show on Thursday. And I didn't have time to put it back. I thought about it 5 minutes before the show started, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to start, breaking something to just put the flag back up. But it's going to be back here in the next show. I think it's a cool background for the stuff, for the radio stuff. What's a radio telescope? Radio telescope is simply a radio plugged to an antenna that is basically like a when a satellite dish, basically a very big one, because they use much bigger satellite dishes basically. And a radio telescope is, why they call it a radio telescope is simply because it's giving you a visuals of radio spectrum. You can almost say that a SDR is kind of a radio telescope, and I'll explain why. We have a visual of what a signal looks like. So it's almost like a radio telescope, basically, in the sense that we have a visual of what signals, how, for example, I was looking this morning and immediately, even yesterday, going through the spectrum, I immediately recognized a single sideband signal smack in the middle of 5 megahertz. And I thought, oh, there's something there. And I clicked. And of course, it was 5616, the frequency for, I think it was Gander, New York Aeronautical. And they were having, conversation with contacts with transatlantic flights over the Atlantic Ocean. And so, they have a visual. So basically, a radio telescope is simply having a visual of a radio signal of space, basically. So when they point a radio telescope on a galaxy, a faraway galaxy, they have the signature of what the galaxy still looks like, but at different frequencies, because there are different, what we see, this, like the sun. When we look at the sun, our eyes see only the light of the sun. That's what our eyes are tuned to. They see the photons coming from the sun. But if you put a radio telescope, the sun outputs a variety of signals at so many different wavelengths that by putting a radio telescope, you still see the sun, but in a very different way, because each frequency and each wavelength shows you a different aspect of the sun's output of energy. Same thing for space. So that's pretty much a radio telescope. Carol T. Okay. Carol T. Jill, does the ephedry use the RTL drivers? If so, then it should work on SDR Touch. It does not use the RTL driver. It has its own specific driver, which is a special audio driver, which I don't think, that's why I'm not sure this is going to work on SDR Touch. This is actually when you plug a USB on a computer, it installs a few drivers, including one which is a special audio driver. So it's not the same. This does not use the RTL driver because this is not RTL based. It's different. 1620 AM radio. Hello there. Nice to have you on board. And Shortwave show live over my station. I'll be listening outside. Cool. Cool. That's really cool. Also notice that your picture is crooked. Is it? Oh, yeah, maybe. Well, I'm not going to start playing around with that. Actually, the funniest thing there is that was behind the pirate flag. So basically, you guys never saw it because it was behind the pirate flag. So, man, is that noon balloon to Rangoon? Oh, man. So, oh, really? Paulie Stickler says, in Boston, there's a bar named Tavern at the End of the World where they feature Fin du Monde beer. Cool. That's cool. That's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Today I have Don de Dieu, which is a gift from God. So, thank you, Elizabeth. I tried to explain it as much as best as I can in my knowledge of, at least I have knowledge of astronomy and all of that, so it helps in answering some of these things. Just going back a few seconds, STLDX, hello there, nice to have you on board. Sorry if I take time sometimes on the IRC chat, or I just like swing from one to the other. So sorry. What is the SDLDX says? For showing the SDR users out there, what output do you prefer as far as speakers go? Just the laptop speakers or something different? No, having good speakers is really important. If I would do a full afternoon, for example, of really serious radio listening, I will not use the crappy speakers of the laptop, that is for sure. What I would probably put is a pair of computer speakers, amplified computer speakers, which would probably give me a decent audio output, because the sound from the PC laptop is too crappy, and it's just not gonna be interesting at all. Hi, STLDX just sent me a link on eBay about problem solved, the expedition power problem solved, and he's sent me a link to check out. So, Remlap, has AM stereo ever been tried on shortwave? If we're talking about better speakers or even FM, well, there's only a pirate station that actually it's XFM that broadcasts in Sequam AM stereo and on shortwave. But apart from that, no international broadcaster has ever done AM stereo on shortwave. So, as for FM, Ramlab, by the way, there are FM transmissions on shortwave. If you go just above 25 megahertz, when propagation is right, there's studio-to-link transmitters that you can hear. FM is also part of the upper part of the 10-meter amateur band. You can actually listen to amateur radio operators from about 29,300 to 29,700 in FM mode. It is a mode that exists on shortwave but mostly amateur radio use. SG2 East Nebraska, hello there, says Cuban Numbers Lady on 11635 S8 Plus right now. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, that's why I just say SG2 East Nebraska. I won't start mentioning the full name of the a little too long. What else do you want here? No, the that's it, Vaults. The network operations does not need any drivers. So an app for mobile, of course, is possible. But I've just looked quickly in the Google Play Store for the fun. I've seen many SDR things. So maybe there is one that works, but I have no idea. I haven't tried it yet. But yes, through the network, we don't need any drivers. That is true, Vaults, for sure. Cameron Dengel made me remember how much everything matter is all about wave formation and frequency. Everything is mathematics. Everything is explained in math in the world, in the universe, the whole universe. MDK2 says he's hoping to use his RSP2 Pro to do some radio astronomy. So still learning the ropes of HF. One at a time. I'll check it out, Jerry. I saw that you sent me a few mails. Bobby Burgess, is it better to use bare wire or insulated wire, making a long wire antenna? I always, insulation does not at all impact reception. Okay, so what I usually prefer is having an insulated wire, because a bare wire, say you use copper cable, will very rapidly deteriorate because of the corrosion of oxygen and water and all of that. So by having it always insulated, the wire stays nice in the inside and helps it stay probably out much longer. But boy, you see how the sunlight, the UV rays of the sun, and the general weather patterns, how it affects materials. I remember when I arrived here, for the first 10 years, I had the same exact outdoor wire that I had never changed. And I changed it about 10 years after, because at some point we had a big storm and it broke. But you know what? When you looked at the insulation, that wire's insulation was red. It was all white, and I would just do this with the wire, and the insulation on top of the wire would just crack out. And the wire inside already started corroding because the water and everything went through. But I always keep the insulation. There's it doesn't absolutely doesn't change anything on the reception to have the insulation on the wire. Do you use an external speaker on the ICOM 8500? Yes, and it's right here, squeezed between my CB radio and the ICOM, and it's plugged on my DSP here, which has a audio amplifier. It is a must, because the speaker in the ICOM points up. It's rather crappy. So really, having an outboard speaker is something that you have to do. It's something that you have to do, basically, on the ICOM for sure, if you want to really seriously do some listening. Scotty Tier 6 says, Google the WAV signal, and there have been a lot of radio telescope action over the decades. Yep. WAV signal is one of the ones that it's one of the signals I always, like talking about, because it's still an unexplained signal today. And who knows? Maybe we've heard something from some other civilization. Kind of cool to think that it could be the case, but nobody knows. David Arden, Jupiter is lower than that. It's about 21 megahertz. Jupiter is around 21 megahertz. It resonates, or it sends its pulses and its static pulses around 21 megahertz. And actually, if you go on spaceweather.com, once in a while somebody posts a link to listening. There's some amateur radio astronomers. So they often post links of what it sounds like to hear. Sometimes it's like a whooshing sound, a little bit like a ocean waves. Sometimes it's cracklings and pops, and it's generated by the very, very powerful magnetic field within Jupiter. And apparently, even with just a long wire, we can hear it on 21 megahertz when it's really, really strong. All you need is to know when Jupiter's high up in the sky, which lately I believe is it's in the I need to check out which planets are up right now, but it's around 21, 22 megahertz, and apparently it's easy to actually, the way I've heard it is we've probably, if you listen to shortwave a lot, you've probably heard crackles and pops coming from Jupiter. You just didn't know that they were from Jupiter. Now, getting a QSL card from Jupiter, yes, that might be a very, very difficult one. So I don't know. Getting a QSL cards via Uranus, that, ouch. I'd be scared of paper cuts, Steve, getting QSL cards from Uranus. Mr. Roman, hola, Sir Gilles. Hola, Mr. Roman. Nice to have you on board. Elizabeth says, agreed. Matt. Everything living, dead, or invisible is described in ones and zeros. Oh, of course. It's, math is everything. Everything. What's today's subject? It's answering questions and talking a little bit about SDRs. And so there's SDR and listener questions in there. So, of course, for those that didn't see, nice little gift. Thank you very much. Greg Wasik in Maine sent me this nice Fedri SDR receiver. Very, very, very cool. I got to say, I thought that Soft 66 was fun, but this is cooler because of the Ethernet jack. And I got to say, what it tells me, if one day I would buy a much more expensive SDR, having it networked is a must. It really, really makes it so much cooler. So really, really fun. So pretty cool. Yeah, that's it, Captain Ron. Insulation is yeah, but most of the covering does erode off quite fast. Bobby Beretta, hello there. Nice to have you on board. Jupiter needs to be, we need to have it, yes, probably in opposition because of the fact that we are closest to Jupiter. So it needs to be probably easier to receive when Jupiter's at opposition. That means that the Earth is at its closest, because we gotta still think that Jupiter at its closest is like 780 million kilometers away. That's kind of a real nice DX target, thinking about it. You're almost listening to 1 billion kilometers away. Probably one of the best DX targets ever. So yep, like Scotty says, in an SDR, the IF is digitized and all signal processing is done digitally. So that's where the computer comes in, and it's converted back to analog for the audio. That's for sure. Hey, Candy Clover, nice to have you here. Happy that that you're here. What do we have here? What else we have? What SDR was that he had? I just tuned in. That's the Fedri, AFEDRI SDR. And it is amazing little SDR, I gotta say. The other one here is a Soft 66. This is the basic SDR. Anyone that doesn't want to invest in SDR because they're not sure, Soft 66 is a nice beginner SDR. It's fun to tune, it's fun to play with. So, kind of cool. Kelvin Morgan, hello there. Have you ever tried experimenting with a circular polarized quad or any other antenna using circular polarization? No, I've never done that for a VHF, UHF listening for satellites and stuff like that. But I do believe that it could be very interesting. You know, one thing that I'd like, especially for the upper frequency ranges, VHF, UHF, for ham radio satellites, weather satellites, would be to have something like that, some kind of a polarized quad, or you know, something that will help me pull in the signals from amateur satellites much more than right now, for sure. Kaspera, good evening from Athens, Greece. Hello there. My wife and I sent you our best wishes from an amazing radio show tonight. Keep on good work. Thank you very much. Nice to have you on board. And is SY1AQB, Amateur Radio, 73. Thank you very much for the good words. Always nice. And pretty cool. And what else do we have here? Yeah, I do believe PLF, but let me just check the night sky here. So night sky for April 2017. Let's just check out night sky. What's in the planets watching guide for 2017? Okay, this is what I wanted. So Jupiter. Let's check out Jupiter. And how to lose weight now? Yeah, I'm gonna click on that for sure. Even though, yes, I would need to lose weight for sure. Okay, let's check it out. Well, Jupiter is, I believe it's up in the sky now. I think I've seen Jupiter the other day. Mars, and here we go with Jupiter. Come on. Okay, Jupiter. Yeah, what is it? Okay, evenings from April 7th to October 6th. So it will be pretty much all summer. And it's, I believe I saw it the other day. So basically, brightest in 2017. Okay, Jupiter's at opposition to Sun April 7th. So that means that on April 7th, it will simply rise up or from the east at the same time as the sun sets. So a few hours after sunset, it's going to be high up in the sky. So April, technically, April would be the best to hear Jupiter sounds on 21 megahertz. Because that's the month where it's the best right now. So if you guys want to try it out, so yeah, oh yeah, Stellarium, that's a good app for. I got a few astronomy apps on my phone also. So the month of April would be the best time for anyone that wants to listen to Jupiter, basically. So I like that, Mr. Roman. Says I need to lose 100 pounds. I'm 260 these days. Yeah, I understand. I know what you mean. So April, you know, that could be a fun project. Trying to receive Jupiter, and trying to learn also what Jupiter might look or sound like, because you know it's kind of difficult because it's typically some kind of noise that you will probably fade into the general noise, and you'll never know you were listening to, you actually heard Jupiter there. Take care, Carol. Always nice to have everyone on board, and this is the Shortwave Show. We are coming to you from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. We are here every 2 weeks on Saturdays, and I have a little survey for you guys and girls watching tonight. I find that every 2 weeks is a little long. So here's what I was thinking of doing. What if I put the Tuning the Band show on the other week. So that means every week there would be a radio show. Instead of waiting 2 weeks and having 2 days in a row. And what would be different is that there would be 1 week on Fridays would be the radio, tuning the bands. 1 week on Saturdays would be the shortwave show. So every week there'd be one, but you have to know, is it the Friday one or the Saturday one? That's one possibility. Second possibility that would make it less difficult, but I'm not sure because maybe some of you are working. Every Fridays, we're on at 2000 hours UT. But then again, that's a Friday. So maybe some of you can because it's a weekday. That has the advantage of always being every Friday at 20 UT. So that means every Friday there's something. And you know that every Friday you can join a live show. Or we keep it like this. Every 2 weeks, we do a Friday and a Saturday show. And we just past 1 week. So what would be your suggestions? What would you guys like? Do you like it like this? We skip a week, but we have 2 shows on Friday and Saturdays. Or we alternate, 1 Friday, 1 Saturday, tuning the bands or shortwave show. Or every Friday, 2000 hours UTC. So that's up to you guys. First possibility, would not mind. So alternate. Okay. First sounds good. Vault says, I am thinking varied days will give better coverage and something every week is better. So first. Okay. Because I do, you know what? I find that when it's kind of long between the shows for radio. And I don't like it because, you know, on the Windows channel, I do shows every week. So I was thinking, well, I should do a show every week on the shortwave channel. I think that could be interesting, you know, to have it every week. So, okay, so you guys, most of you are kind of saying, okay, yeah, that's what I'm thinking when we do auto. 2 weeks in between each shows is very long. And you know what? Also, there's also one thing. One thing is that, you know, having a show every week doesn't break the cycle. There's like something every week. And I want to say something else, but I got distracted by the chat room. So, yeah, okay. So, you know, maybe what we could do is this week I'll just skip a week, and starting in 2 weeks, maybe we could start the alternating shows. So in 2 weeks we'll have the Saturday show, and then we'll have Friday, Saturday, Friday, Saturday. Because one of the things that I don't like about the fact that it's 2 weeks is it really seems long. It really seems like I'm not, you know, my biggest audience is for live shows is on the radio channels. So I should probably, you know, do more regular stuff here on the radio channels for sure. So, okay, alternate. John Trieger, hello there. Nice to have you on board. Alternate would be cool, Steve says. Cool. Well, okay. So it's sold. It's really sold. And what I would say is the next show. So let's do it like this, okay? The next show, we're gonna start in April doing this. So the next show will be April 1st on Saturday, and after that we'll have another one Friday, April 7th, and we'll just alternate Saturdays and Fridays. You know, if it would be easier, I would do every Saturday, you know, because I like that. But I think it's, you know, it would be better to to have one every week. It's too long. 2 weeks is too long in between shows. And so we'll alternate like that. Friday, Saturday, Friday, Saturday. So it all starts Saturday, April 1st. And starting from that, if you remember that, last show was a Saturday, you know that the next one's a Friday. And I'll find a way also to put up a schedule so that everybody can see it. Well, David Art says we need our shield fixed every week. You know what? I get a lot of emails and private messages saying, you know what? Your shows are so cool. When's the next one? I really want to know when the next one is. And it feels good because, it's like, oh, people just really want to see my stuff, my shows, and want to really, they enjoy what I'm doing, Sometimes I'm ranting, but yeah, it's okay. It's part of the show. And we're talking about everything, different things. So, okay, we'll alternate. So it's sold, alternate. Everybody seems to say that's the best option. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay, cool. And Jerry says, I got to send you some Jupiter audio recordings one of these days. Yeah, why not? Mr. Roman, Gilles Transmission telling us about financial issues doing his shows. It's still a problem. That's why I push for donations, because they are helping me. They are really helping me a lot. So, I don't want to annoy people with money because, it's something I don't like. But still, like I always say, I put a tremendous amount of energy and time in all the things I do. And, of course, while I'm doing that, I'm not doing something that I get paid for, like a tech job or something like that. So, I gotta, have some form of input other than just, and, if you enjoy what I'm doing and what I'm offering as content, I think it's, just cool. A lot of you have come through, a lot of you, there's many of you are regular donators every month. There are some regular donators on my Windows channel every month. What I'm always saying is you don't have to give a huge amount of money. I'd rather have many people give me a couple of bucks than have only one person give me $100, because a couple of bucks doesn't do much in your pocket. But if everybody joins that, it gives me an amount that's, just good enough in order for me to continue on with what I'm doing. And, this week I was talking with my nephew, because some of you know I've been talking about that. My office is going to be changed into a kind of almost a TV studio, basically. So my nephew this week was talking to me about that and was actually telling me he wanted to offer me his help in, doing this and creating the TV studio style here that I want, because I need more equipment and I want to change some of the things here so that what's annoying right now, the radio stuff is cool because I'm set up. But what's annoying right now is, for example, on the Windows side, I got to set up every time I want to do a show. So here's DX saying hello to everyone. Hey, DX the cat saying hello. So hope everybody enjoys. Hey, DX the cat is here. And basically, I am going to really, I want to change things so that I have like 3 or 4 setups. And all I would need to do is simply, at the worst, just put the camera at the right place for that setup, and at that place for that other setup. And so like that, it's not, I don't have to take an hour and a half to just set up everything and the lighting in order to do a specific show. Then I got to take it all off, because if I don't, somebody will be mad at me for not taking everything off. So, by having a little studio fixes that for sure. PLF every week, cool. That's pretty cool. And SG1 East Nebraska says alternate better for you. Can get a tech guy job every other Friday. Yeah, my goal is not to take a tech guy job every other Friday. It's really mostly for trying to do the best and maybe add some other shows eventually for sure. So yeah, the other show, the thing is I think having a alternate show is pretty good. So yes, I always send an email reminder. So if you guys don't receive it, I've changed. Um, you know, I've changed for the way that I'm sending out because there's a lot of you not receiving it, even though I'm sending it. Yes, I will put a donation button on the YouTube pages for sure. I need to do that. I like seeing a Canadian drunk talking about shortwave radio. Okay, William Helms, hello there, welcome. Every week, VHF, UHF, 1 week. Yeah, a lot. There are some of you that said, "Hey, I missed that VHF, UHF side." Also, I gotta say, I'd like to. Maybe we could mix in something. I don't know. Maybe we could mix in something. I don't know. Hey, Joey D, nice to have you on board from New Jersey, USA. Pretty cool. And thank you, David Arden. Put a lot of time and energy, and we appreciate it. And one of the big reasons I do it is because I see that you guys give me back part of it in telling me how you enjoy my shows, and I gotta say, helps me a lot continue because it gives me the drive to continue. Probably a lot of people, told me, oh well, for just that amount of money, you should just do something else. But what people don't understand is that I love doing this, and there's not just money in life. I rather have less, but do what I like, and that's what I do here is part of what I do, and I do like. So hey DX, everybody's saying hello to you. So cool. Charles RX says also, I like every week instead of every 2 weeks. Cool. That's cool. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah, DX is so cool, big furball. Yeah, DX is nice. So yeah. Yes, DX is really getting big. I can tell you that. I really need to put him on a diet or something. So, yep, I think that will be a good idea, Vaults. I never thought of that, but that is actually a good idea on that About page. Put the schedule. Yes, that is a great idea. Thanks for the suggestion. Yes, that's exactly what is happening, MDK2. DX really wants to pay attention to me. Talk to me. Don't talk to the people watching you. Oh man. We should mix in 6 meters if they open up during the show. Yeah, you know what? That's an idea. 6 meters is actually really cool. I love that band. When it opens up, man, it's like I just listen in. It's been a while now because it usually opens only with sporadic E-skip. But that could be interesting. Yeah, why not, Vaults? 6 meters, that could be cool. It's so cool. 6 meters is so cool. It's just out of the frequency range of shortwave, but yeah, why not? And no more Putin for DX, that's for sure. He's really got big. I need to weigh DX the cat because what I'm trying to do right now, and it's going crazy. In the past few weeks, I've been like lowering the portions of food. And what happens is every hour or so, he comes to me and he looks at me. He just sits down and looks up. And I know what that means. I know that means I want something. And if I follow him, he sits down next to the door where he knows I put the cat food. So every time I go and I'm like, nope, no cat food now. You're too fat. You're like me. You're too fat. So, you know, basically, that's what's happening right now. Captain Ron says, hey, Jill, you're probably the main force in repopularizing the shortwave in the last few years. Got me hooked. Yeah. Okay, that's an interesting aspect, Scotty Tier 6. Or maybe we should... Okay, how about we do shows every week, one on Fridays, one on Saturdays, and we tune around and we talk about shortwave all mixed in. Would that be a better show? Would that be more interesting? So we can also tune around and also talk about radio? A little bit like yesterday. We tuned around a little bit. We talked. What do you guys think about that? Scotty Tier 6 has an interesting point there. You know. So we could tune around the bands, share signals, and also talk about, you know, shortwave. So that could be interesting. Okay, now DX the cat wants to... What are you doing? So, okay, Vanuidodo said, sounds like the best of both worlds, would vote for that option. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, that's cool. So we will do a mixed show. Kind of, we can tune around, and we can, and we talk about radio at the same time. So what I have to say, I'll say it. We'll talk about what we have to talk about. And okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's maybe that could be an interesting show, a mixed. You know, if we have to do it every week. If we have to do it every week, yeah, okay. Because I gotta say, you know, the idea is good because when we tune the bands, sometimes it's like, okay, we're tuning the bands for 4 hours, and at some point you're like, okay. It's the same thing, you know, when you want to talk about something, it's interesting, but of course, if we can mix both, I think it would be good. I think it's a good idea. So tune around and chat at the same time, great mix. Okay, cool. Cool. Polly Steckler just says, any show is good as long as it's not about Trump. I have the same comments on my Windows channel. So okay, that's cool. Candy Clover, no, I do not have a ham radio transmitter. Captain Ron says, of course, as a moderator, you can steer it to keep it on some sort of track. Yeah, of course. Yes, DX does think I'm talking to him. He's looking at me while I'm talking. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Mr. Roman, I am totally open at criticism and comments. You know, I mean, what makes a great show is building it and also having comments and suggestions from everybody. So, of course, you can email me if you want for suggestions, if you want. And, you know, we'll see what we can do. I miss your text stories. Any chance of them to reappear? Well, I've gone through a lot of text stories. Let me think about anything. First of all, I don't remember which ones I remember some of the text stories I've told you guys, but I don't remember. Did I ever tell you guys about the 80-year-old naked couple pictures? Does that ring the bell to anyone? Elizabeth says, watch your show, but what is the best sub 1000 radio for shortwave? Apologize, last minute question. Anytime is the right time for a question, Elizabeth. Sub $1,000 radio. It's sad, but it's discontinued. But the ICOM ICR 75 was an amazing sub $1,000 tabletop radio. That was one of the great below 1,000 receivers. Apart from that, I believe the Alinco DX 8T, something like that, is another very interesting receiver. Anybody has an idea for a sub $1,000? What is there in the market of sub $1,000 receivers? So okay, everybody seems to be very positive on. Sorry, I think DX just moved the camera a little bit. So okay, that's cool. You know what? Actually, it's something very interesting. A mix of, let's tune around and do live shows. Excellent idea. Yeah, like Scotty Tier 6 says, I used R75. Oh, okay. So Jerry never heard the 80-year-old naked pics story. Okay. I'm not sure. I think I've talked about it once, but okay. Let's go for it. Vault says the best sub 1K radio would be an SDR. Yeah, if you want to be in an SDR, software-defined radio, maybe. So, isn't the AOR 8200 MK3 more than $1,000? Or is okay? Because I saw 1,000. Maybe it's 100. Do you mean 100, Elizabeth? Let me know if you mean 100. It's not the same. It's not the same category, but sub 100 or sub 1,000. We might have misinterpreted the question. But of sub 100, then you'd get into the Texan receivers. Texan PL660, I believe, is below 100. Yeah, well, I went back. I went back to see, and it does say 1,000. So, but maybe there's 1 0 too many also. So, yes, you do need a quiet computer for SDR. That's for sure. 800. Okay. What I want to say. Okay. Text story from. I go to this old couple. They're about 75 years old. And the idea is to transfer all the files from their old Windows XP computer and transfer that to a new Windows 7 computer. And that is a story that you guys guess is about 10 years old. Okay? 9 years old, 8 years old, something like that. Yes, I do think it is something that you've heard. But anyways, for those that didn't, it's always a nice story. I'm transferring. I've got this USB transfer cable, a special cable that you can transfer files from computer to computer. And because I don't want to open up the computer, and I think they bought a laptop maybe or something. I don't remember why. Sometimes, I would just pick up the hard drive and plug it on the other computer. But for some reason, I needed to use the USB on that one. So, by using the USB, it's transferring and everything's going. Suddenly, there's an error message. And I have to look because about 50% of everything that's transferred. So I don't want, I'm professional. I don't want them to have something missing. So I start looking into where it didn't work. And I see that where it crashed was while it's transferring my pictures folder. You know, of all the folders that it needs to crash, it crashes in my pictures folder. And I look at my pictures folder because I want to see and compare what folders are there and there. And I spot the last folder that it did. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to look in the folder to see if everything is in that folder. And I click the folder, which has a name like, you know, XYZ1440, so it doesn't say anything. And when I'm inside the folder, it's just naked pictures of the old 75-year-old couple. And the first one is the husband. He's he's on the bed, on his tummy, and all you see is, a shot of his big balls hanging from the back. And I'm like, okay. And so I just get out of there, and there's only 4 pictures, so I'll just retransfer that folder, and I've seen enough. But the problem is that the computer is so slow that when you click that X to shut down, it doesn't do it. And that the lady's coming. Okay? The lady's coming. And I see her coming. And there's a full screen image, or almost, of her husband with the big balls hanging, And I'm like, oh man, I look like a pervert now, So I click the X, but you're in panic. So you click like 400 times. And all it does is really slowly, a very slow computer that doesn't have enough RAM and everything. It's very slow. Line by line. Almost pixel by pixel. Going down. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to be in trouble. And as soon as he arrives and looks at the screen, it just drops to 0, like, boop. It's gone. And I'm like, oh, man. What the F? So I'm like, she looks at me and she says, is everything all right? She's going, oh, yeah, absolutely. I was just looking if the transfer is all right. Whew. I can tell you guys, that was one of the, oh, man. But, you get out of there and you're like, okay, well, you are going into private computers of people, so anything is possible. And that was one hell of a story of anything is possible. I just can tell you that. So, nope. Just, at the last second, it just, closed. Like, oh, man, probably 2 seconds later, and she would have seen what was on the screen. But she didn't. And I was like, oh, man, okay, if there's some kind of error, I don't care. I'm continuing, and I'm not even going to search for, is there something missing? I don't care anymore. So, yeah, private computers. That was, whew, I can tell you that. So that's one other tech story. One that is kind of interesting, okay? I go to I go to a client's, and she owns a chain of restaurants here, and I won't mention the chain of restaurants so that nobody knows who she is. So she owns a chain of restaurants that is pretty well known here, and she's the owner with her ex-husband, so they're divorced. She has a Mac, and the Mac doesn't want to start anymore. And she just wants me to go, and, I've been their tech guy for many, many years. So at some point, she tells me, hey, my Mac doesn't want to start, and it gives me that little weird, blinking folder instead of the Apple at the start, and it's like, I don't know what's happening. Can you take care of it? So I say, okay, well, I can go and check it out. And she says, I don't want you to come over. I'm just gonna leave the computer at your home. So she comes here. She leaves the computer here in my office. because I have a home office. And she's like, check it out, and call me back to say what's wrong. So of course, I check it out and everything, and I restart the computer, restarts and everything. So it's like nothing much. There's some kind of corruption, and just by like scanning and fixing it works. So at the same time, she tells me, well, if it ever starts back, seems slow, can you just scan the computer and check if everything is all right? And I noticed that there's a few things that aren't right. And on her desktop, on her Mac, she has a folder. And because of the corruption, I see that some of the folders have these weird, instead of having a name, they have like weird characters, like, like, a question mark, exclamation mark, a weird letter or something. So you see that something went wrong. So I want to just try to fix it. So I just click, and all I can say is imagine that you go to, so imagine you guys go to the most beautiful, or one of the most beautiful women you've ever seen in your life. And when you click the folder on the desktop, which I will never do again, well, depends, naked pictures and videos of herself playing with her body. And you're like, really? Okay. I don't know, but if I had videos and pictures of me naked in my PC, I would think about that before, I don't know, sending my PC to get repaired or something. I don't know. It's not even hidden. It's right there on the desktop. At least I would like just, put it somewhere real far that nobody can see it. It's just too far within a folder somewhere. But it's right there smack in the desktop of your Mac computer. And I'm like, okay, So did you save a backup? So, no, she was not making a pass at me, that was sure. You know what? That folder, the pictures that were in it, it was like if I just searched for porn on the internet. It was just there. It was amazing. Amazing. And you look at that and you're like, man, okay. That is weird. Yeah, XNADXer, I know. The computer screen button would be something. But, man. Whew. Yes, I do have a folder of DX videos on the PC, but oh man, no, I don't think she was making an obvious move to anything. I think she was just there, and that's it. And it was just funny because another one that I don't know if I've ever told you guys. So I go to this. I go to fix a computer downtown, and the guy says, "Okay, I've got a problem with my I've got a second hard drive in my PC, and it has a lot of stuff I want to keep." And Granley says, "Easy now. This is getting to be letters to Penthouse." Oh yeah. Letters to Penthouse. It's like, well, I've been noticing that my next door neighbor was looking at me the other day when I was taking a shower. Yeah, right. Okay. Hello there, Cesar Coelho. Nice to have you here. I will do a video on R20 edges. You know what? The ICOM R20 is one of the worst ever manuals I've ever seen to explain how a radio works. And not just the R20 edges. I think the old memory system of the R20, I need to do a series of videos to that. And I really need to take the time to do it. So I will. DX and that woman are pen pals. So, no, she did not have a radio at all. I don't even know if she knows that there's something called either amateur radio or shortwave radio. Um, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I go to this guy's computer. He says his second hard drive in his desktop is not working, and he really wants to keep what's on the second hard drive. So he leaves me there. He's just like, okay, he puts the money. Okay, just to give you an idea, I never seen this guy before. He puts the money on the desk and he says, here's the money. I have to go. So first of all, something is wrong with that. You don't even know who I am, and you just like leave, and you give me money. It's like I could just leave, and who cares? It's like I wouldn't do that, personally. So of course, I use some software to, and I come to a point where I use something like I think I use SpinRite that fixes drives when they're really really gone. So basically, I start scanning the drive, and it's like working and saying that it's doing its thing. And it's really boring. It's like the drive's doing that, and there's nothing else you're gonna do, and it takes like 2 hours. So you're like, I got 2 hours with nothing to do. So I'm playing games on my iPhone, because back then I had an iPhone. So I'm playing all sorts of games on my iPhone and having, that's all I'm doing. I'm getting paid to play games on my iPhone. So when it finally gets there, I want to look to make sure that, I can read the folders. Well, there aren't any folders, but, well, I'll come to that question, Scotty Tier 6. So I look at the folders. The guy has a 1 terabyte drive that contains about 150,000 pictures of naked men. And it's not the fact that they're naked men that's the problem. It's the fact that I'm thinking, okay, we all watch porn, but come on, 150,000 pictures? Is that your main job? Are you like working all week just searching for porn pics on the internet or something? Because I'm just amazed at the number of pictures. I don't care if they're guys or girls or whatever. I'm just amazed that you got 150,000 damn pictures of porn. You're just doing that or what? I don't know. It's like you just did that for all your life. Every day you spend 6 hours just downloading naked pictures of men. What the hell? I got porn pics. I got like 10 porn pics. I don't keep porn pictures on my computer. It's like I got 10, like of what I find interesting. And even then, I'd lose them and I wouldn't care. It's like porn is all over the web, man. You don't need to keep them. You have tons of it on the internet. I don't even see why you keep the pictures in your computer. Man. And to come back to Scotty Tier 6, SpinRite can take hours. What to do with her to the meantime, yes. But you know what? Another thing is also, some people tell me, oh, what do you do when it takes hours and hours to, it's like, what? When a hard drive has a problem, I always tell the person, look, the best that I can do is I'll take the hard drive and bring it to my office, and I've got a PC in my office that does just that. I'll run SpinRite, I'll run, software to try and recover stuff. but I will not, I'm not going to stay. I always tell everybody, when people expect something, I say, look, I'm not gonna stay in your home for 10 hours. Don't expect that. I'm not there to stay 10 hours. So so sometimes when I want to reformat, reinstall Windows, and I tell everybody, it's like, you got to back up. Do you have a backup of your stuff? And they tell me, oh, I've got 400 gigs of stuff. You know what? You got to back up. I'm not going to back up 400 gigs of stuff for you. If I do, you're going to have a hell of a bill. You have to do it yourself. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that for you. So, Hey, Max Dennis, nice to have you on board. Thank you very much for the nice comments. So, yeah, but okay, that's different. That's gonna your 610, you deviant. Yeah, I'm a bad guy. I'm a bad guy. Man. So welcome to the radio show. This is not a porn show. It's not but we do deal with different mature subjects. Maybe what would they say? They say a parental discretion advised, something like that. So I'll have to flag that little 18 years or older on my YouTube channel. So this is the Shortwave show, and we are from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. We've been on for 2 hours now, and we're talking about radio. We're having suggestions from the chat, so it's very interesting. So starting April 1st, I think we're going to do a weekly show. Sometime, 1 week on Fridays, 1 week on Saturdays, and we're going to do a mixed bag of tuning and talking about all sorts of things. And these were the Computer Tech Show horror stories. Exactly. And yes, you know what, Jerry? I was even thinking better. I know two guys that want to become actors, so they're really doing a lot of things, but crappy stuff. When you want to start in the field of being an actor or a singer or whatever, you just do crappy stuff that doesn't pay. And one night, I was at the bar with them, and we were having beer, and I started talking about my different tech stories that I'm talking right now. And one of them said, you know what? We should make a show, a YouTube or a web show with all of these little stories. And that would be fantastic, because they were laughing their head off and saying, man, you've got amazingly cool stories, amazingly funny stories of tech jobs. And you could add in the regular tech stuff that you see every day, that person that doesn't know anything, like the regular stuff, like, okay, can you click Internet Explorer? And then she's going to look at you and say, what is that? And you're going to look, it's like, okay, what do you use to go on the internet? And the answer back is always, oh, you mean click the internet? And you're like, yeah, click the internet. Okay, click the internet. So, we were talking about that, but, I was telling them, it's like, okay, guys, these are young men. They're like, they work at the karaoke bar, by the way, where I go to. And, these guys are like in their early 20s. And we were talking about that. And it's like, it'd be so cool. We could recreate all these events in a show that we put every week. And, I was thinking, yes, because they're so funny, that if we could get an audience, that would be cool. It would be really, really funny to have that. And it's true, you know what? I'd like to have a show like that, like, recreate every little event every time. One last tech story, and we're going back to radio, okay, guys? I go to this, an old man. He's maybe, old man, I've got to be careful. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm an old man now. And old man is very, it depends on the age you are, I think at 80, you don't even think you're an old man. You know, I'm going to be 48. By the way, you guys, I'm going to be 48 on Monday. My birthday is on Monday, and you know, 2 years away from the big 50. 2 years away from the big 50, and so I go to this, you know, this guy. I call him a whole man, but you know, it doesn't feel like that because I know the guy is like 70, 72 years old. And so I say an old man. It's like we're just 20 years difference, man. You know. But the guy's cool. You know, every time I went there, it was always cool. Every time I was, you know, I went there so many times. The guy loves me as his tech guy. You know, he had another tech guy before, and he always tells me how the other tech guy was an idiot, and that half the times it said, "Oh well, you can't do that," and every time he asks me questions, it's like, "Oh well, we could do this or that," and he says, "Never you tell me we can't do that. You always say, well, we could do it if we do this or that." So, anyways. I've gone there so many times. Funniest story in the world. So, as a tech guy in the summertime, I take the bike all the time. I am a big bike fan. I do like 2,000 or 3,000 kilometers of bike every summer. The guy is maybe, I don't know, 25 minutes away, bike ride. So, you know, I just go there. It's Friday around 7 p.m. I'm fixing the computer, and as I'm fixing the computer, I notice not like there's a big armoire, and it's full of alcohol of all kinds. And I look at the armoire, and it's like, you know, I just look at one bottle, and I know that bottle is a specific type of alcohol only because, not because I'm a connoisseur, because I'm not. But a friend of mine has a collection of that, and I, of course, immediately notice the bottles. So I'm like, oh, you like that type of alcohol? So he looks at me and he says, oh, a connoisseur. Won't you have a little something with me? I would be happy that you, my tech guy, and me, we have a little drink. So it's, you know, 7:30, 8 p.m. The guy gives me a shot of a type of alcohol that is like 60%. Okay? 60% proof. So it's really, really something. I look at him and it's like, wow, thanks. So we just do a little cheers, and you know, it's like you just swallow it, like a little bit like a shooter. Just to tell you one thing, that evening, to make sure that I get home early, I did not eat anything at supper. I just went from one client to the other, and I did not go to the restaurant or eat or anything. And so, you know, my stomach's totally empty. The guy, okay, we do this little shooter thing, and I'm fixing the computer. I can tell you one thing. It's the first time that this ever happened to me. I look at the computer screen. It takes about, I don't know, 45 seconds. And the screen goes, boom. I guarantee, guys, the screen moved sideways and came back. As if my body just got a shot of alcohol suddenly. And so I'm like, oh man, okay, this is kind of, whew. But, you know, in my head, it's like, okay, it's okay. I just got one. It's going to be okay. No, the guy, I'm continuing, and it takes time to fix the computer because there's a lot of things that's wrong. And the guy looks at me and says, oh, let's try another one. So he takes another bottle. And, okay, just to tell you guys, okay, look at this pint. Imagine this amount of beer, okay? Half of this in another type of alcohol. Don't ask me what, okay? Because I have no idea. Half of this, okay? in a very small glass. And the guy says, just to give you an idea, that small glass that you have costs around $100. And I'm like, what? And it doesn't matter, because you know what? He's so happy to have someone that's going to be trying the different alcohols he's got. And so I take that. And then a third bottle that he takes out, and he's like, this one I've never opened. It's like, no, keep that for some occasion, special occasion. I tell him that. I say, keep that for a special occasion. And he looks at me and says, you're the special occasion. For the first time in my life, somebody came here and knows something about the alcohol I have. You are a special occasion. Please taste this with me. And the guy's like 7 years old. And okay. And when I finished at around 9 p.m., okay, I had to bike back home. All I can say is I spent about 30 minutes walking next with my bike because I had difficulty getting on my bike. It was like I really had difficulty getting on my bike. And after about 30 minutes, just walking with the bike, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to get on the bike. I was just going to say one thing. I was on because when I go to that place, there's a nice bike path. But I can tell you one thing. That bike path, I was going like this all the way home. I was a dangerous maniac on my bike, okay? So, another story. So, you guys enjoy the tech stories? Whew, man, that was something. So, anyways, these are the tech stories. Tech guy has all sorts of stories. Especially, I had thousands and thousands of different clients. So, I've had every type of client possible, from the weirdest weirdo you can imagine to the richest guy you can imagine to everything in there. I can tell. No, I did not fall. But man, I can tell you one thing. Whew, that was something. Hi, Chalakov. Nice to have you on board. Woo, Al Chalakov. Pretty cool. So, anyways, thank you for the happy birthdays, everyone. Really, really nice to have everybody on board. Shortwave listener St. Louis says, hey, Jill, just started watching. I hope didn't miss much. We talked about all sorts of things, including SDRs, Ephedry, SDR, Soft 66. Grantley says, woohoo, happy birthday. Enjoy after 50. It starts going fast and downhill. Yeah, I don't want to think about that. I really don't want to think about that. So, yep, you know what? That was something. I can tell you a thing. Okay. Do I do one last story? It's not a tech guy story. It's a personal story of too much drinking, or we talk about shortwave. I know everybody's going to say, we want to have drinking stuff. Hey, Kimberly, K6YYL. Not today, on Monday. 2 days to go. March 20th is my birthday. So, oh man, depends, My father's still alive. He's 86, and he would be very, very. You guys would be very surprised at how he's like at 86. He's not like in a wheelchair or anything. At 86, he's still surprising. Everybody would give him like 60. He's amazing for 86, and he's had a pretty hard life. A little bit like me, where we have a family side of having fun and a little alcohol, and and he's 86 now. So both Starry and Dan Radio. So okay. Oh, Kimberly, you'll be 48 on July 11th. So we are pretty much we're close, really close together. That's cool. Oh man. Kelvin Morgan says, I was fixing the PC back in 2002 Was left to fix it about 45 minutes, and into it. I shut it down the stairs. Can I use your bathroom? Opened the wrong door and found at S&M dungeon. Oh, wrong door. That's really a wrong door. So the worst hangover ever. I'm going to tell you guys my story of the worst hangover ever. It happened in, I was about, okay, when I was in college, I was, 18, 19 years old. And actually, I was 18. Yes, I will, Mickey Sub. Hello there. I'll go back into the 2 SDRs just after a little story of hangover. So I'm 18 because I remember that half of the guys that I'm in the bar with are not 18. But I have the baby face, so at 18, they ask me to show my ID. And the other guys, they have beards and mustache, so they look older, and they never ask ID. And we had a group, and that came from the BBS time, when the bulletin board systems were there. We were on the BBS, and it was a get-together of the college bulletin board system. And we were in a bar, and we were calling ourselves the Brew Crew, and we would drink way too much alcohol for the time. So, anyways, we're in the bar, and that bar closes at midnight. And in Montreal, bars close at 3 a.m. But that one was a tavern style. So it closed at midnight. So at midnight, we get up. And it's like, I want to drink. We're all looking at each other. It's like, we still want to drink. But we're already very drunk. So we get to this other bar, and we start ordering shooters all the time. And we get to a point where the waitress comes to us and says, the barman says, no more alcohol for you guys. So we get out. We're kind of bummed, but we're really drunk. Drunk to a point where I'm sick almost immediately. And I take a taxi home. Back then, a taxi from that place to my home was, we're talking 1990, 1989. A taxi back then from that place to my home was about $15. And I get sick, so I tell the taxi driver, hey, you know what? If I tell you to stop, just stop. And of course, I tell the taxi driver to stop every corner street. And I'm sick and everything, and the taxi driver is just ranting and telling me, you should never do that. That's not a good way of being a man. And you know what? Never do that to impress your women and everything. And all the way through, I'm telling the taxi driver, shut up, drive. I don't want to know what you're thinking. Just shut up and drive. And what was normally a $15 ride cost me like $35. Just gives you an idea of how many times we stopped in the way. And that was the worst hangover that I've ever had. Really the worst. And you know what? It's like, don't do that, guys. It's horrible. So we are talking about shortwave radio and not hangovers. As well, St. Louis says, what do you think of live operating systems that boot off USB sticks? Yeah, like Linux, Ubuntu, stuff like that, Linux Mint. It's cool to try, but it's not, for every day, whatever you want to do is not good. It's good to try, or if you just want to have a temporary operating system. But, it can't be your main computer. Is it more secure from malware? Yeah, usually because you can't really write anything on these devices. So, Okay. What else do we have? So, okay, for those that join and just want to know a little more, and okay, I'll just repost a little bit if you guys want to help me in any way. Sorry to rant about this, but helps a lot. PayPal donations are accepted. So here's the Yahoo email for PayPal donations. And of course, Patreon is a great way to help me out. And you know what? I've been continuing because of donations a lot. They help me, complete and continue what I do. So thanks everybody that have donated already. Okay, SDR. If we go back once again, a little more. Software-defined receiver. So it's a receiver. It tells in the name. It's a receiver. Like I always say, it is a great way of tuning the bands. What's cool with an SDR is how you can. There's the flexibility of the software around it. That's really cool. And this has been a nice little gift from Greg Wasik in Maine. Thank you very much, and really, really appreciate this. So this is the AFEDRI, AFEDRI. It's a HF only. Well, 100 kilohertz to 30 megahertz software-defined radio. And what's cool is that the best functionality out of it is the Ethernet jack, because it is a network SDR. That means when I plug the Ethernet cable in here, I actually have access to this radio on every computer around my network. And that is an amazing thing. A FEDRI is better. This is a Soft 66. This is also an SDR, the cheap one. $40. And this is not bad. For $40, for anybody who wants to start, I think this is a cool starter SDR. $40, you get pretty amazing performance. And it gives you an idea of what an SDR looks like. And this is wideband. So this gives you HF and also gives you VHF, UHF. It's a wideband receiver from about, medium wave or a little below medium wave. But let's say 1 megahertz all the way up to about 2 gigahertz. And the FEDRI is a HF 100 kilohertz to 30 megahertz. And it has a much better performance. So the FEDRI, because it's more filtered and everything, you have less noise from the computers. You have also better performance out of this. And pretty cool device. So this really love, especially networked. Networked is really great. I mean, this morning I was making pancakes and I was listening to amateur radio from Spain on 20 meter band with this that was right here in the corner, plugged into my sloper antenna in the backyard. Amazing little devices. Southern Illinois San. I played a lot last night and today also with the settings. One thing that I noticed is when I plug it on the network, I have much less problems. It seems that it's very dodgy on the USB side. When it's plugged in USB, it's kind of weird. But when it's on the network, it's much better. And so I've been enjoying, like this morning I was taking one part of the morning I was, drinking my coffee, doing little things on my YouTube channels, looking at comments and everything. And on my big 50-inch screen TV, I had the waterfall and was looking, and tuning different signals. So it's really cool. So, it's still not 100%. There's still a few things I need to learn more with this. A few things that I still don't understand, but I'm getting there. And it's getting better and better all the time. So really, really cool. Really cool. Hey, John Ritson, nice to have you on board. And really, really cool. It says I need to try the SDR Play RSP2. So who knows? At some point. I have Cat 6 cable here, so I don't have Cat 5. But what I have here is Cat 6 cable that is 50 feet long and works very, very, very nice. But this is 100 megabits. The Ethernet jack on this is not a gigabit jack. It's 100 megabits per second. And on a 50-foot Ethernet, Cat 6 cable works fine. Works really, really fine through my router. I of course have to lower the bandwidth because I'm using Wi-Fi on the other computer. But really cool device. And the fact that you can tune around, it's really fun. Gotta say that. So, okay. What else do we have here? Anybody has the ACRF one? Hey, Richard Tribble. Nice to have you here. Nice to have you on board, by the way. Pretty cool. John Riston says, finally got the Drake R8E in the shack for the bedside table shortwave listening. That's, I gotta say, a really good bedside table shortwave listening rig. The Drake R8E. Really a good one. So, Richard Dribble says, I also have the SDR Play Pro 2. Works very well. Cool. Do we have any ham radio swap meets in Canada? Yes, we've got many of them. Here in Montreal, the biggest one is the one in Longueuil, which is just south of Montreal. There's another one in Granby. There's different ones around the province, but there's a lot of them around Canada. That we got tons of them, Kevin. Tons of them. And I don't know. Southern Illinois says, I read ACRF is criminal. They use them to open car doors. Everything can be used to do something bad. I mean, anybody that knows a little about anything can do a lot of things with what they have. And, we got to stop going crazy with that for sure. Jerry says, Com Radio CR1A, any good? Yeah, I think it's David in Barcelona, by the way. I don't remember if I said hello. David in Barcelona has one. He does like it, but it has a few drawbacks, but he does like it, still like it for what it is, the Com Radio CR1. It seems it might overload a little too easily, things like that. But still, for what it is, he actually likes it. Yeah, Cat 6. Cat 6 is good because it's gigabit. It's really made for gigabit Ethernet connections, and that's what I use here. Cat 6. Where are the party lights? Here they are. Let's plug it in. Party lights. Here are the party lights. I did not plug them in. Here it goes. Party lights are there. So it's party time, everyone. Party lights are there. So, okay, just to, for those that just joined, I'm just going to recap what we're going to do. There's going to be changes to the show. First of all, because I think every 2 weeks is too long. I've been thinking about that. 2 weeks was too long, and I personally, I do see that 2 weeks is way too long between shows. So, what we're going to do, starting April 1st, okay? April 1st will be a Saturday show. If you guys want to take it down, by the way, just take note of it. Here's the next radio shows, okay? The next radio shows are going to be, so, first of all, we're going to alternate. So I'm bringing back every week is a show. Okay? So instead of every 2 weeks, every week we'll have a show now. But it'll be 1 week on Fridays, 1 week on Saturdays. Now, what we're going to do, both of them are going to be similar shows. So, Saturday, April 1st, is the next show, 2000 hours Universal Time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight in North America, Eastern Time. Then the next one will be April 7th, Friday, always at 2000 hours UTC all the time. So, 1st of April, 7th of April, 15th of April, 21st of April, 29th of April, shows. 2000 hours UTC. 1, 7, 15, 21, 29. These are the dates for April. So every week we have a show. And it'll be a mix of, always a mix of talking about shortwave radio, tuning the shortwave bands, all mixed together. So instead of having a separate show, tuning the bands one time, talking about shortwave the other, mixed in. Everything is mixed in. We do both of those things at every show starting April 1st. So it's been voted democratic in the chat room. And that's how we're going to do our shows starting April the 1st. Sorry. I'd like to try to get some Jupiter receptions, but even if I hear them, I'm not even sure I can ID that it's Jupiter. Hey there, Europe DX. Nice to have you on board. Hey, Gilles, after many months, this SDR patrol works? Nope. And I don't want to talk too much about it because of a few things. The SDR, the DX Patrol SDR, got bad real fast because of poor design. And what happened, you know, there's a big mixed bag of things here. When that happened, I actually contacted the seller of DX Patrol, which told me that, well, you know, I probably handled it too roughly or not correctly, or no, I did everything careful. It's just, you know, a bad SDR. And basically, I had made a review, but the SDR Patrol guy, in his head, the guy that was complaining on eBay and the guy that was doing their videos on YouTube, me, was not the same person. So I made a video saying, well, look, you know, I have problems with SDR and everything. And on YouTube, he said, oh, I'm going to send you another one free of charge because you talked about it on your YouTube channel, and, you know, I'm sending you one free of charge. But I don't know if it's because I rented on eBay. I never did get another one. And you know what? I think the DX Patrol is something that is not worth it. And you know what? I got to say one thing. The DX Patrol costs close to $100. Doesn't really perform better than the Soft 66 I got in my hands here. That's like $40. So you know what? The hell with DX Patrol, get a Soft 66. Okay? Because I gotta say, I don't know if you guys hear the siren, but they're gonna remove the snow on the street right now. So anyways, the hell with DX Patrol, get this. And no, it's not worth it. The price, it's too cheaply made, I would say. Paul Steckler, Chuck Berry has just died, Jill. We'll have to sing a tribute. Oh man, Chuck Berry. Really? Oh, so sad. Too many great artists are going away now. Sorry, Illinois says, good, I like the new format already. Cool. I think it's going to be cool. Bobby says, anybody listen to weekend shows on WRMI? Good shows. You know, I've been listening a lot to WRMI. 11580 is one of the frequencies I listen often. Lots of really cool stuff. South Illinois San, yeah, Jupiter emits bursts of noise and all sorts of things. On around 21, 22 megahertz. And apparently it's very easy to receive. And I was saying that in April 7th, Jupiter's at opposition, meaning that Earth will be at the closest of the year for Jupiter. Maybe it's the time to listen to. And apparently just having a long wire is enough to hear the bursts of noises from Jupiter, because they're quite strong. That could be interesting. Trying to really to listen to that. That could be cool. So thank you very much, Captain Wrong. Very nice for you to do a PayPal donation, and it's so much appreciated. You guys don't know. It really helps me a lot in continuing and keeping the spirits up. But you guys help me keep the spirits up, and you know, like I always say, if you can't, it's quite all right. Don't worry about it. Really, don't worry about it. it's okay, you know. Not everybody has the money to do donations or anything. Okay, what else do we have here? Yes, a lot of paid reviews online, and we got to be careful with that. We got to be very careful with that. Oh, really? Jerry met Chuck Berry at 18 years old. Swing like crazy after a concert. Yeah, man. Chuck Berry. Yeah, well, they've changed the siren. It's different from what they were using before. What am I drinking? Jill seems to be a little intoxicated. No, not at all. Yeah, I was drinking. I'm almost done. Don de Dieu, which is gift from God. It's a 9% beer. So it's good beer. It's very. It doesn't taste harsh. Some high alcohol content beer tastes really harsh, but this is nice. Ever listen to InfoWars? Yes, I do. That guy is completely nuts. Alex Jones, completely nuts. That guy, but it makes for entertaining listening. If you guys noticed something about WWCR, by the way, they've been having more Alex Jones on 6115, 4840 kilohertz, 12160. It's almost like you can listen to Alex Jones almost all day long. But also, they've been having a lot of old-time radio broadcasts. Almost as if they've got less religious broadcasters buying airtime. I don't know. So, yes, Kelvin Morgan. You know what? I'm looking into. I had the possibility to have some sponsorship from two companies that are well known that I will not mention. I mentioned one of them a few, but I don't want to mention the names. But the problem is I cannot talk about something if I am not able to say if it's good or bad personally. I cannot, on my channel, say your radio is good if I think it's crappy. I'd rather not have your money and say, hey, that's the crappiest radio I've ever tried. Because I want to be honest with you guys. So, you know, I had a choice. I could take money from two well-known radio companies. But no, I don't want that. You know, I rather say that's crappy and that's it. And you guys will know the truth. It's crappy. That's it. Yep, 21 megahertz, around 21, 22 megahertz. Sometimes it can sound like ocean waves. Sometimes it's like a crackle and pop that could, for anybody, sound like, well, this sounds like local interference, but actually comes from Jupiter. So I think the month of April is the best for that type of. Yeah, Candy Clover, WWCR Classic Radio Theater. Yep, they have Classic Radio Theater 3 or 4 times a week, last I checked. So, pretty cool. Hey, Oxford Shortwave Log, nice to have you here. Not sure how well this is going to work, but hi from Brazil, your satellite internet. Nice to have you on board. So, doing some nice jungle de-expedition in Brazil. Oh man, that's true, Bobby. You know what? We rant a lot about Brother Stairs everywhere on the shortwave bands, but if their broadcast goes away, a lot of stations are going to be in financial trouble. So, oh, okay, pretty cool, pretty cool. Yeah, Oxford says place abounds with large arachnids. Yeah, we've seen the videos with the large. Really, Candy Clover, a $1.7 million donation. I need that. I can tell you guys, if I get a $1.7 million donation, I will never ask you guys for 1 penny ever again. And I will do a shortwave show 5 times a week. Monday to, like Tuesday to Saturday. A shortwave show every day. So all I need is a $1.7 million donation. And I promise you, a 5 days a week shortwave show. And Gene Scott, yeah, I don't know. I've heard the Dr. Gene Scott stuff a little bit. I think that's what they have on the Caribbean Beacon, right? On 11775 and 6090. And hey, before we leave soon, I want to talk about another thing that's happening. David, first of all, David says AirSpy, HackRF, Afedri, SDR Play, and I don't know if there's any other. I'm kind of confused. What are the differences in between those, and is there a best one? They all seem the same to me. Well, you know, it's like if I would tell you and you didn't know anything between a Texan PL600, a Texan PL380, a Texan PL680, a Texan PL880. They all seem pretty the same for a lot of people. Which one is the best or not? I think it's a little bit like that. There are each have its own, good and bad points, I think. But I think it's, some are better than others. And, maybe we should, even I would probably, need to check a little more in details each of these receivers. And, because they're all, a lot of them are quite good. But I got to say, there must be differences, and there must be, for sure, some of them that are actually better in performance than others. And that there must be something there for sure. Jerry says, come on, guys, pay the man $1.7 million. Maybe I should turn this channel into a God channel and have a few million, apparently. Oh, Almighty God, please bring back shortwave radio. Let's do a prayer for shortwave radio. Let's do it now. Not with more frequencies of Brother Stare, okay? I'm going to start praying if it's that happens. No offense, everybody. I don't want to offend anybody that believes in God or anything. It's really just a joke. Man. Catherine Rod says, I wonder if shortwave shows are increasing in audience number over 5 years ago. You know what's interesting? What's interesting is a lot of major broadcasters, Voice of America, BBC, and even Radio Japan, are actually increasing their shortwave outlet. So it's very interesting now. Oh, hey, Oxford Shortwave. Cool. You can see me via satellite in Brazil. Kind of cool when you think about it. But, oh, man. I know. It does seem that that's the way to make money. I'm not about to sell my soul to make money. I'm sorry. That's not the kind of guy I am. So, hey, it's cool to see you, Oxford Shortwave Blog. We were mentioning in the beginning of the show how those videos you've been posting that are interesting. And please continue. It's really, really cool. Really, really cool. So we all need that. We all need a shortwave transmitter and do some pirate stuff. That would be cool. Here's that siren again. And I guess that little blue car on the other side of the street is going to be towed away and get a ticket. Because hasn't moved yet. And not one, but 2 towings are there. And okay. That's Yes, the Church of the Merciful Icon. And now I will, my brothers and sisters, today let's share our shortwave radio joy. Everybody gets a shortwave radio. Yep, Canada plow trucks use sirens. Well, not the plow trucks. What happens is when they remove snow here, there's tow trucks that go in the streets and with sirens. Because a lot of people don't look at the signs. You know, there's been a sign on the other side of the street since yesterday evening that tonight they're removing the snow on that side of the street. And so it's regular towings that have sirens. And they go through the streets and they're really fair. Okay, they go through at least 4 or 5 times before they're going to take your car away. So it's like, okay, you really, really didn't hear it or you really didn't care because they are very, very fair and before they tow away your car. And then they, tow away the car that stays there. And after that, they remove the snow. The plows, the different big trucks do not have any sirens. So what do we have here? David says, cool, I'll have to research. Not that I'm planning to buy one, but just to be informed. But you know what, David? I thought SDRs were kind of cool. At the DX Patrol was kind of cool. Soft 66 began really kind of cool. But when I got this Fidry donated to me, and that you can plug it through the network, I gotta say I got hooked to this little box now. Because like I was saying, I think we were there when I started talking about this. This is hooked up to my sloper antenna in the backyard. It has really amazing performance compared to any other radio. And I gotta say, it's the first time that now I can use a computer anywhere in my home and tune a good shortwave radio anywhere, in the kitchen, wherever I go. Things that I can't take the ICOM and bring in, really install it anywhere I want in the home. It's not practical. Because the ICOM, you want it on your best antenna, which is the one I have outside. Now this is hooked up, it stays here, and everywhere in my home network, I have access to a good shortwave radio that I just tune around with my HDSDR software. I installed, it really needed this. This, I installed HDSDR on one computer. This, I've installed HDSDR on every laptop I got in my home. Every computer has HDSDR now. Why? Because if I'm in the kitchen, I use, I got a laptop kitchen, or a kitchen laptop, and I've got a desktop or another laptop on my 50-inch TV in the living room, stuff like that. Computers that clients have given me over the years, and I gotta say I'm hooked now because I have the possibility to have a good receiver on my outdoor antenna on any room in my home with a laptop computer. I gotta say I'm a little hooked now. Really, a little hooked. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. How much does it cost if they tow it away? I think it's $160. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's $160 for being towed. So they take your car and they bring it somewhere else. So not only is it $160, you got to find your car. So yeah, Kiwi SDR is another one that looks very, very, very interesting. Danny Shortwave says, alternate site parking for street cleaning police makes a lot of money for the city. Yep, for sure. Oh, really? In Toronto, there's no cost? Here it's like $160. That's interesting. Can you access a Fedry via smartphone? That's what I wanted to do. DXing on the toilet. That sounds weird. DXing on the toilet. Yet, I gotta say, I probably a few times had portable receiver while, being on the toilet. But I've not yet, I can't answer the question, okay? I've seen some apps and everything because I was curious, can I use my smartphone to do this? Right now, I'm not yet there. I don't see a way to do it, but maybe there is. Maybe there is. Oxford says, I'm meeting a new tarantula, tarantula every day. Oh, man. I would like, I'm not that type of guy that really hates spiders, but I'm not sure I want to have those big spiders around for sure. Oh, man. Man. Yep, Kiwi comes with the internet server, and it's kind of interesting. David says, I have an RTL SDR dongle and a CT1 FFU up converter made by the same manufacturer of the SDR Patrol. Works well with my ICOM. Yeah, the ICOM SDR. And, not just that also. Is not just that it performs better, but also the fact that the DX Patrol suffers the same as the SOP 66. Once you plug it on a computer, high noise level. You get high noise level for sure. So here they come again. He's soon to be towed away. Kenny Clover, bring Jill a spider back from Brazil. Oh, man. Man. Yeah, well, of course, they're like, they're locals. What else do we have here? The clock radio, is that a tube radio, Richard? Yes, it is an All-American 5. Can I easily get the back off? I think I can. Here we go. We're going to get the back off. And you guys can see what an All-American 5 looks like. So I'm going to take this off. I think here. Here we go. Here we go. So you guys, here's the All-American 5. So 5 tubes. 1 here, here, 3, 4 with this one in the back, 5 with the other one here. So this is an All-American 5 with a mechanical clock right here and the speakers right there. These work fine, by the way. This one still has its paper capacitor here. I ain't touching that as long as it doesn't buzz in the audio. And these are really cool. Now, I've got these for a few bucks only. Look at that. Look at you guys. Look at the antenna. This is the medium wave antenna glued to the back of the cardboard back. A kind of a loop antenna made of copper wire or something. So it gives you an idea, guys, of what it looks like. These are kind of cool. I like to have those. And, when I can get an All-American 5 for like a cheap price, why not? It's kind of cool to have that. And here we go. So, yep, they're all American 5 receivers, and they're pretty cool. Jerry, I think Scotty Tier 6 says that the R8600 should arrive at his home, according to Radio World in Toronto, at the end of the month. So it's supposed to be soon. Really? Yeah, AM only. AM only. If you want to sell it, let me know. No, I don't really want to sell them. I got many of them. Like, I don't know what the camera is showing. Clock radio there. This one is another All-American 5 here, a Fleetwood. And right next to it, if we turn the camera, look at that, guys, there's another one there, an Admiral, with 2 speakers on that one. And they all work perfectly, and they're all All-American 5s. The 50s, 60s, these were kind of the 50s, 60s cheap receivers that you could get, tube radios that you could get. And I've got more than that. I've got at least 5 or 6 more. And I think I got another one with a clock like this one. This one is the RCA Victor type. here. So, okay. Let's talk a little bit about A17 because I wanted to talk about it. PLF is asking me, Gilles, when is the A17 shortwave schedules coming in? Grandly says, what's for dinner, Gilles? I'm thinking burritos, getting near supper time. Hamburgers. Actually, I have two choices. Either hamburgers, but I saw that I got a lot of bell peppers and everything. So I was thinking maybe fajitas with a lot of peppers inside. A lot of bell peppers inside. So either hamburgers or fajitas. That's probably one of the two things I might do tonight in food. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about... No, I don't want to sell them, Richard. I got them for like really cheap. I got them for like $2 or $3 each, and I'm happy having them. And sometimes, I take them out like this, and I listen to the medium wave bands in the evening. And the tube glow is just like so cool. So why you want to have one, Richard? These are so easy to find if you go at a flea market or any even garage sales. You know what? I've found these in church sales of some sort. So they're quite easy to find. I gotta say, these are really easy to find if you just search for them a lot. So yeah, Craigslist, they're a little expensive because you know what? I saw a guy selling one that was very similar to this, like $100. That's not worth $100. I'm sorry. These are so common and so cheap versions, with plastic big light, that they're not worth $100. I wouldn't pay more than $5 or $10 for one of those. Can tell you. Okay, so when we come back in the next show, we'll have something change, and it's the summer schedules will be in effect. Okay, so of course twice a year, shortwave stations change the schedules, and the next time that these schedules are going to change is March 27th. So March 27th is that time when we are going to go into A17, the summer schedules of shortwave broadcasts. So, okay, just think about it. Right now we're in the winter schedules. These are slowly, the winter schedules are really, we're at the end of it now. It's incredible. It's like, it's just yesterday that I was talking about the B16 schedule season. So many of your favorite stations and programs will probably be shuffled around in frequency range. So March 27th, okay, is when we are going to change schedule. So on Monday, March 27th, we are in the summer schedule. So there's a lot of stations. If you have your favorite station you listen to every day or every week, if you don't hear it after March 26th, remember, we'll be in the new schedule season, summertime. Unfortunately, when I was young, when I started on shortwave, back then, schedule changed 4 times a year. Every season had a schedule. It was kind of better like that because you could follow the season. But, for financial and also for kind of making it easier on everybody, now it's 2 times a year. Problem with schedule seasons changing only 2 times a year, the winter schedule season is often thought about to work well in November, December, January. But when you're getting close to spring or too close to fall, often those frequencies don't necessarily work well. And that's the problem of changing twice a year. So that means when we change for the summer schedules, some frequencies, not all of them, some frequencies might not be the best in the month of April. They'll get better through May and June and July. So if you don't hear your favorite station right away, be patient. The fact that the change and the frequencies used will sometimes be better in June, or it's like an example, Radio Thailand. In the summer schedule, they're probably going to still use that frequency they use all the time, 15590. Radio Thailand is a hard one to get, but you know what? In April, I don't think I'll hear 15590 unless solar flux is really high, which it probably won't be. We've been now 12 days in a row without any sunspots. We're getting into the very low solar cycle right now. But 15590 will probably work in in the month of June and July and August, in the very in the middle of summer. So that's gonna start March 27, sorry, and we are going to be next time in the really summer scheduled season already. So oh man, what do we have here? Well, you know what, Richard, look around. They're not that difficult to find. Most of these I found in, if you see a church sale or some sort, that they sell all sorts of, like, old items of all sorts. These are the best place for these old radios, because you got these old ladies and old men that are there that are part of the church community for a long time, and they've got all of those. This one I think I paid $2 or $3. This one I paid maybe $3 or $4. The other one I think is $5. And there's a lot of stuff that they're often easy and inexpensive. It's probably not, that the color, I think this was more beige, maybe not as yellow as this. But I'm not sure actually. You know what? Because the other one there, which is gray, hasn't really changed color, and it's pretty much of the same time period. So was it as yellow as that? I don't know. I can't answer the question. But I would think this maybe would have been a little like more beige and not yellowish like this at the beginning. But when I got it, it was already yellow like that. So, maybe it could be this could have been a radio in a smoker's home. When you smoke cigarettes, man, everything becomes yellow. Danny Shortwave Radio DX says seen some as low as $10 for an old AM table radio. Yeah, these are usually very, very inexpensive. But the ones that are more expensive are the ones like the Zenith Transoceanic and stuff like that. There's a guy here that has one, and oh, this is cool. In the nighttime when the sun sets and we started getting the American stations, Richard, I like turning them on and listening to American AM stations, and especially when you get these stations that have like either old time radio programs or that frequency you go to and it's like, oh, this is American big band music from the 40s and 50s. I feel like it's like, wow, these radios probably played tons of that type of music back then. There's kind of a history behind it. So for sure. Kind of cool. So, but check the church. The all of these radios, because I've got about 10 or 12 of them, and almost all of them I've got them in church sales. I tell you, Richard, go around the churches and look at when they're going to have the next church sales of some sort. I tell you, you're going to see some of those. It's always in a church that I've seen those at a low price usually. I can tell you, you'll easily get one of those for really cheap. I can tell you that. If I had more time, I'd just go around every church sale that I've seen, and I can bet you I'd have more than that, for sure. So, Oh, really? MDK2 says there was someone on one of the Facebook groups who got an FRG7 from a guy who smoked around it for 30 years. And he put it through the dishwasher and still works. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I got like the Atari 1040 ST that I did retro gaming the other night. You know, that thing was drenched. It was I found it. It was like a big thunderstorm outside. It was full of water. I picked it up and it was like just dripping water. I just really took a hair dryer and really made it so that it was as dry as possible. Works perfectly. I like trying the water when electricity is in it because it shorts everything. But very often, very amazing how things can work after going through. But everything that I've seen, as a tech guy, I can tell you one thing: computers that were in a smoker's home, they get a much heavier beating than regular folks' home that don't smoke or anything. I can tell you that. Hey, PLF, take care. It was nice to have you on board. PLF shared the solar flux 70, very low. A index 2, K index 1. We have to bank with that. And K index 1, not too bad. I had some really nice DX today. I heard Kuwait. There was 9 alpha 2 kilo, I think, on the Fedri SDR this morning. I had Spain. I got a station from France. I heard a station from down in Argentina, 20 meters. 17 meters also was not bad with a Belgian station. I heard Belgium on 18140 or something like that. Station was making contacts with North America. So, you got to make the best of what you have in the frequencies and times. But yes, many times, Bobby Burgess. I've decoded radiograms many times. I think, have 1 or 2 videos on the channel. If you type radiogram in the search on the channel, you'll see that I have 1 or 2 of them that I've actually decoded all the way through and posted the video online. Giving me an idea, Bobby. It's been a long time since I've done that. Could be fun to do tonight. Really fun to do tonight. GE Super Radio is a classic. Yep, I've got a GE Super Radio 3 right there. If I can show you, by the way, the GE Super Radio that I got is right here. That's a GE Super Radio 3, right here, in my radio rack right there. So shows you guys what I got, and these are nice. The 3 is not the best one ever, but I kind of like it. It actually works pretty well in general. So Captain Ron says his old Yacht Boy does AM pretty good. Yes. By the way, for anyone that's interested in old-time gaming, I got now a new show with my nephew. Every Thursdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 2330 UTC, and it's on youtube.com/oldcomputermuseum, and museum is spelled MUZM, and that's where we have our live show for retro gaming, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time every Thursdays. 2330 UTC. Southern Illinois, any plans for the expedition to the island? As long as there's snow, no idea. And yeah, Scotty Tier 6, by the way, has a lot of decodes of all sorts of, SSTV and stuff. He has a lot of videos of that. Scotty Tier 6 also has some really nice videos of decoding all sorts of digital signals, by the way. Kenny Clover, we have a little island here called Perry Island, just northwest of Montreal, which is a very isolated little island. and I go and do the expeditions there and listen to the radio because it's far away from homes, not a lot of noise. So, but you know, they're like we just had like 2 foot of snow here, so I'm not gonna go there for now. But you know, I was looking, yeah, just to mention, Richard Tribble says 15670 for radiogram tonight, 0230. If you guys want to decode it tonight, 0230 UT 5745 is usually a pretty good signal. Also, use FLDG software, and the starting mode is pretty much always MFSK32. So, and you know what, Bobby, on your PL 380, I'm pretty sure you're going to hear that. And you don't even have to hook up your computer to the... if you're in a quiet environment, just the microphone from your computer is enough for you to decode that. All you have to do is install FLDG and put it in MFSK32 mode. Tonight, 0230 UT, 5745 is the frequency. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. So just what I was talking about a few seconds. Yeah, Perry Island is northwest of Montreal, and so I go there when it's warm. I was looking at my videos that I have recorded on a hard drive here, and I noticed that the first time last year that I went to Perry Island was May the 12th. And it was probably very hot because I'm wearing shorts, so that means it was a hot day. So, you know, probably early May will be one of the first times I go back to Perry Island. So, and for the retro gaming, hey there, Scott N5XTC. So once again, on Thursday evenings, we have retro gaming on Old Computer Museum, MUZM. It's the place where we go to, and we had our third episode this week. First episode was with the Amiga 500. Second episode we did the Atari 1040 ST. Epics. This week we had PC gaming with older games like Doom. We had, I'm trying to remember here, 3D Ultra Pinball, Trail Ride, stuff like that. And we're going to alternate machines like that all the time. I've got look at that, guys. I think I can take it out from the box. Fastload in the chat got me a very cool, look at that. I've got a very cool Atari 2600 right here. All I need are cartridges to put in there to have it working. And of course, that will be part of retro gaming soon. So this is I hope it works because, you know, he didn't try it and we need to try it out. So a video computer system, the Atari 2600 right here. So this is going to be really cool. That's going to be part, if it works well, it's going to be part of the retro packs of games on eBay. A lot of people are selling packs of cartridges for pretty cheap, so I'm going to do that. Oh, man. What the hell? Kenny Clover says, sounds amazing. Love to take my 7600 GR. You know, when I'm at Perry Island, I hear so many things I don't hear anywhere else, not even here at home. Amazing. Jagged Tiger, hello there. Like the Eton Sat 800 and E1 radios, good receivers. Yep. Yep. Sorry here. Hey, GST 300Z, nice to have you on board. Oh, the stream is buffering a little bit now. So, okay. Sad. So anyways, retro gaming, and we're actually going to, you know, have the kind of cycle of, you know, old stuff for sure. So what the Windows thing that I do as well, for those that want to, youtube.com/the-official Windows 8. This channel, official Windows 8, on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 1900 UTC, I answer tech questions from users. On the other channel, that is for those that want to be a little more on the insider side of what's happening with Windows 10, Windows 10 for everyone. There I have the Windows Insider Hour every Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So you guys see that I have a lot of shows that I do here and there. So, oh, I had Wolfenstein, by the way, Southern Illinois. So, really cool. Really cool. Wolfenstein. So, we had a lot of stuff there, and we're going to do more. And I want to play, you know what? One of the games that I really want to play on my Atari 2600, Donkey Kong, because I played that at my friend's house when I was young, and I want to play a game of Donkey Kong. So, stream says the connection is not top shape, so maybe that's why. Anyways, we've been pretty good for a pretty long time. You know what? We're gonna say goodbye for now, and thanks everyone for being here. We've been here on for 3 hours and 16 minutes, so pretty cool. So thanks everybody for being here. It was really nice to have you on board. Take care, all. It was nice to have you here. And remember, the next shows will be April 1st, Saturday, 2000 hours UTC. April 7th, Friday, 2000 hours UTC. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. Hope you enjoyed. Take care, all. I drank just one big beer. I drank this one, and that's it. But it is a 9% beer, so I'm a little, not that much, just a little, kind of little in a party mood. And now I'm going to make fajitas. And so if anyone wants to come over, I have enough beef, enough tortilla to feed at least 10 people. So if you guys want to come over, you're all welcome. Take care, everybody. Good night from everywhere around the world. Good night, good day, good evening. Take care. Always cool to have everybody here. Thanks. You know, feels so good to make these shows with all you great people. See you soon. Bye-bye.